Yes, good afternoon everyone. The 1998 Drive Safe Cup Grand Final is upon us. Welcome to Subiaco Oval, where East Fremantle and West Perth clash this afternoon for the honour of having their name inscribed on the Drive Safe Cup as premiers for 1998. Well, East Fremantle have certainly been the form team of the competition, winning 19 out of their 21 qualifying matches and powering through the second semi-final to be the outright favourites for this afternoon's flag. West Perth have had to endure a thrashing in the second semi-final by 53 points at the hands of the Sharks, and also endure a come-from-behind exhausting three-point victory over Subiaco in last week's preliminary final. Well, with me in commentary this afternoon to see how all the drama of the grand final is going to unfold is Trevor Sprigg. And Spriggy, already East Fremantle have got off to a good start in the Colts grand final, 16-13-109, defeating Claremont 9-6-60, and in a thrilling reserves match again between Subiaco and West Perth, the Lions, 12 goals, 10-82, took the flag out over West Perth, 10-9-69, but it certainly promises to be a great day.
So the Falcons are looking to turn around the reserves. East Fremantle looking to have the double, aren't they, with Colts? I think that's a good omen, Phil. 1985 also is a good omen. Adrian Bromage, of course, Sandover medalist this year. Murray Renstead did it in that year. East Fremantle beat Subiaco. But it's terrific. The crowd's building up really well. The conditions are excellent. We'll hear from Rod Willett shortly about that. But augurs well for a terrific game. What has happened in the season prior to this, Phil, doesn't mean anything at all today. It's all won on the day.
Yes, we're seeing some vision of the crowd just a moment ago, but Trevor, West Perth need to do something a little different. I guess that they've gone into the game, as we understand it now, with just one big man. Ron Skender's going to have to carry the ruck and all of the big man duties himself. East Fremantle, we know, are a very tall side, so the Falcons, it looks, are going to try and run them off their legs.
Yes, they're gone for the running option, Phil. I think John Dimas mentioned during the week that he was worried that his players didn't run as much as they should have in the second half. It was just as if, in the second semi-final, it was just as if they were too worried about East Fremantle's game. Now, they've got to get that run off half-back from the players like Ryan Webb will be in the back line. Brendan Barrows will be there, I guess. Troy Willison, I think, will have to play back line. Brendan Logan will spend some time there. They've got to provide the run for the Falcons to have any chance at all of winning this game today.
Certainly plenty of theatrics out in the middle of Subiaco Oval. The atmosphere is building, as we know, and plenty of pre-game entertainment. The skydivers have come down, and as we might go down boundary side now, where it's all happening, to Rod Willett, who has a ground report for us.
Yes, indeed, Phil, and it is a lovely day for football. Football should be played like this all the time and just not played in the wet. So we're looking at a great day today. We've got 19 degrees, a southwesterly winds at 21 kilometres, so it will have an advantage to the side that does kick to the city end. And the crowd is building up, and it is really a lovely day, and I'm sure we're in for a great game of football. Back to you.
Yes, back here in the commentary position, Trevor. What about Tony McHale, who's given East Fremantle so much service? He really does deserve what most people are expecting is going to befall him come 5 o'clock today?
Well, he's a very single-minded man, Phil, and the expectation, I think, is there for the East Fremantle team. They expect to win this game. They, were so disappointed in their loss last year, and Tony has mentioned so many times that the reason why they've been so committed to the cause has been the fact that they lost last year to South Fremantle. I think this team is better than last year's. They've added Greg Madigan, Greg Egan in particular, into that team. They've lost Paul Lindsay, certainly, who's playing at Geelong on the rookie list situation, but they have a very strong team. They have some very fast starters. Grand finals are so often decided by players that get into the swing of things quickly. I've just made some notes here. Adrian Bromage, the Sandover medalist himself, is a fast starter. Greg Egan, Damien Condon and Matt Clucas have got plenty of possessions early in games we've seen this year, and for that reason West Perth will have to man up very hard in the first 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, I always think of West Perth's East Fremantle's experienced players, but West Perth's experienced players came to the fore last week, didn't they, when we saw Mildenhall, Mifka and these others in the last quarter really bring West Perth home with a wet sail.
And the other thing, Phil, that happens in grand finals, I think, is the unheralded players, isn't it? And you see blokes like now, John Kerr played a sensational game in the second semi-final, virtually a complete shutout on Brunton, and he'll get Brunton wherever Brunton lines up today. Well, Gary, there's the East Fremantle team. Where do you see their major strengths? Joined by Gary Buchanara.
Yes, Trevor, well, it's a tremendous East Fremantle side, good balance all over the field. Obviously their forward line is going to be the key with all Spalding there. Damien Condon, O'Brien as a leading type player. You see Stephen Bilcich is a player that really pops up in big games. So watch Stephen Bilcich today. He's a player that will chip in and kick a few goals. And their midfield and their running type players are the real problems for West Perth today.
Do you see it as a problem that West Perth have gone in with just Ron Skender as their ruckman?
I think that could tell in the end of the day, although it is hot and, well, the marking power will be a factor. so much on Ron Skender's shoulder. He needs to really stand tall, in a matter of fact, for West Perth today. But that's a good lineup also for West Perth. Good experience all over the line. See Brendan Barrows there at centre-half back, and really West Perth have got to try and run the ball out of that back line. They've got to try and bring the ball to the ground, destroy the marking player, bring the ball to the ground and run hard.
Stand by for the national anthem.
Well, from toil, our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
We see Stephen Bilcich, the Fremantle skipper, there at centre field, shaking hands with Brendan Barrows and just about to have the toss of the coin. All-important toss, Trevor, because perhaps if some wet weather prevails at the end of the day, kicking with the breeze is going to be important in the first quarter.
Yes, indeed, and the breeze probably worth a couple of goals, perhaps going towards the city end, judging by the flags. Although he can actually work the ball into the... well, it looks like Stephen Bilcich has won the toss and is going to kick to the three-tier stand end. So that is an interesting situation. I know teams, Gary, have thought about going into that area, don't they, with the crowd in there that seems to lift you?
Yes, well, I suppose early in a final too, if there is an advantage, sometimes the nerves, teams tend not to take advantage of it for the first 15 minutes until things settle down. So maybe that's in the mind of Stephen Bilcich. The game will be hard and tough in those first 15 minutes, so there may not be an advantage by kicking with the wind. So as we all know, you can kick goals into the breeze here at Subiaco Oval, but certainly the breeze is quite strong towards the city end, so West Perth have an opportunity if they can win the ball out of the centre and win the ball through the midfield of taking the ball quite cleanly into the forward line.
Gary, do you think we're likely to see any fireworks right at the very start of the game? I mean, both of these sides, particularly Fremantle, can be physical. Well,
grand finals can do that. It's hard to predict. There hasn't been a lot of feeling between these two particular sides as far as I know over a period of time, but finals, you only need that little bit of a spark to ignite something, and particularly if there's a crunch early, then players will want to fly the flag for their teammates early in the proceedings. So you could see it, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully eyes for the ball and a great contest today.
Well, Bowden is there for East Fremantle. Yes. He's coming off as one of the interchange players together with Clint Kirey and Justin Sanders coming to the bench for East Fremantle. Corey Johnson is making his way there for West Perth, along with Steve Truella and also Chris Rigol. There's Damien Condon, and straight away his opponent, the veteran Paul Mifka.
So West Perth haven't shied away from the policy of having Mifka down there, despite the fact that Condon well on top in the second semi-final, Spriggy.
But Troy Willison has gone to pick up Earl Spalding in the centre-half back position. I think, Phil, we had to predict that well, they have to use their tall in the forward line. They're going to rely on a running, in the back line, they're going to rely on a running situation in their forward line. Corey Johnson has come back on the ground, so he didn't go off. I didn't quite see who that other... Milton off.
Yeah, so the grand final for 1998 about to start. Gary Buckenara will keep us posted with all of the matchups. As at centre field, it's umpire Wayne French who bounces the ball. Skender flew a little bit early. Egan timed it pretty well, got it out towards O'Brien, toe poked it only as far as a West Perth player who went to ground, and it is quite physical at the very opening. Players rushing in early to try and get a feel of the footy. We see Callum Chambers and Wayne Rosa sorting themselves out. So just East Fremantle's side of the centre circle. Stephen Bilcich won the toss and elected to kick down towards the Rockaby Road end of the ground. Decisive knock there, won by Egan. Out towards the southern wing. Going after it there is Kelly. Had a very good first season with West Perth. Overruns the footy. The whistle has gone. Scott Spalding picks it up, but the free kick is going to go the way of Christian Kelly. So it's always important, Gary, to get a kick early, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great feeling in a final, particularly early, just to get that first couple of possessions on the board, get yourself into the game.
Kelly with a long kick down toward the city end of the ground, misdirected, or at least there was no one competing down there. Egan had no problem taking the mark for the Sharks. Short pass to Melody, who's been an avenue out of defence for the Sharks all year. Another short pass in towards the middle of the ground. Gee, it was a well-weighted one. Rosa took it almost right in the centre circle.
And there's a good duel that I'm looking forward to. Young Michael Collica and Andrew Williams matched up on each other, half-back flank and half-forward respectively. So that should be a great duel.
Yes, both players have a lot of potential. As the Rosa kick, not a great one, but it favours O'Brien. A fortuitous bounce. Hand pass defensively to Egan. Short pass from him. And there's Chris Pobjoy playing the last game of his career. Played at a couple of clubs, South Fremantle and East Fremantle. Long kick down towards full forward. No mark taken. The ball spills out towards left full back. Nifka with his experience works the ball to the boundary line. And we'll see it thrown into play at right full forward for the Sharks.
Yes, a lively start with the Sharks in attack towards right full forward. There's Ron Skender. A big task for him today. Has to do all the ruck work, and East Fremantle have got 3 or 4 guys to throw at him. The backhander from Spalding into the path to set over medalist Bromage. Feeds the hand pass to Dhurrkay on the attacking 50. The left footer gets it to the goal square. That kick carried well. They work in the goal square. Troy Willison. Well played. Judged it beautifully. The length of the kick. And the big fella from the last line of defence for West Perth. Look at that, Clint Kirey coming back to put pressure on. The chip kick is short, but it's going to find the target. And looks like Steele out there has taken the mark. Plays on quickly, kicks towards the back pocket on the outer side of the ground. And Peter Julian, the former Subiaco player, is marked on the defensive 50. They're trying to work their way back into their attacking area. It's down with Barrows, the captain. And away he goes. Bunny Barrows on the left boot. Goes right across the ground. So they switch play from one side to the other, the Falcons. Maybe this is some sort of a tactic that John Dimmer has devised. The veteran Paul Mifka has it at half-back left. He goes short. On the lead comes Logan in front of Stagg, the mark on centre wing. They haven't given up possession from the kick-in yet. They still haven't, although Morrell couldn't take the mark. He's on the left boot, on the boundary side, gets a good shepherd, gets towards the 50, goes for home to the city end, not going to make the distance, ball bouncing, thumped through in the defensive capacity by Greg Egan. So the first score on the board to the Falcons, a forced behind. Played 3.5 minutes.
Yes, almost against the flow as the short pass comes into play. There's Bowden. Loves to get on his own, rewarded by the umpires for his many possessions during the year. Hand pass was to Spalding. He kicks it up towards the centre wing, nondescript kick. Barrows nearly controlled it. Now there's a chance there for East Fremantle to walk the ball away. It's Rosa who has it, surrounded by Falcons, but he gets a hand pass forward of the play now to Willison. Across his body with the left boot, and in the right place at the right time was Stephen Bilcich. Gary Buckenara mentioned him in his preamble at the start of this grand final. He goes short now into the pocket, and O'Brien's taken the mark. 35 metres out from goal on a very slight angle.
Yes, good play by East Fremantle. Good rebound football. Nearly came unstuck. Scott Spalding's kick out of the back line didn't find its target. Always very dangerous if you bring the ball into the corridor from the back line. If you don't find your target, East Fremantle were good enough to get the ball, and eventually O'Brien having a shot.
Let's see what O'Brien can do from 35 metres. That looks pretty good. So the first goal is on the board, and Stephen O'Brien has kicked it. East Fremantle 1 straight goal, West Perth 1 behind, so it's the Sharks by 5 points. And Gary, good passage of play down the outer side of the ground.
Yes, good pressure as see Lee Willison. Good vision there to spot Stephen Bilcich, who, as I mentioned, is a will-o'-the-wisp player, a very dangerous player, experienced in finals, and he will figure today. I've got a feeling that he'll play a very good game. And that just loosened up Stephen O'Brien, who was able to find a bit of space. He lost his West Perth opponent, and Bilcich was able to find O'Brien, and O'Brien kicks truly.
Christian Kelly being manned up by Martin Melody, or vice versa, from the centre bounce down. See Wayne Rosa in there. No one can get out of that pack. Rosa's opponent looks to be Uni, or perhaps Kim Rigol.
Worth a couple of goals, that breeze, do you think, Gary?
Oh, there's no doubt about that. City end, the wind is favouring.
Egan goes high to win the tap. Socket off the ground by Melody towards left centre wing. Chance for Bromage to run onto it. Does so. And then has good poise and balance. That's good for the centre middle. Got it back to Melody, who couldn't take the mark. Plays on quickly. The hand pass, he had support from Spalding. That's Earl to right half forward. Pobjoy on the burst. Wrapped up in a tackle is Rayner. Got the hand pass quickly to O'Brien, though. The ball close to the boundary line. Bromage can't keep it in, or did he? Got it to Stockton. Plenty of pressure now. Kirey boots the ball towards a full forward line for East Fremantle. Thumped away in defence by the West Perth backman. They work in hard. Chance for Brendan Barrows in there. They come in to try and tie it up. That's what the forward line will try and do. Just keep the ball in. They can't do so at the moment. Rosa steals it on the left boot. Wayne Rosa. Well, he's a great tagger, but he's also an opportunist goal kicker. There was evidence. Rosa kicked It's East Fremantle second. They're 2 straight, and West Perth 1 behind.
Well, that's a great start to East Fremantle. Really are committing the body. Look at the pressure the forwards in, keeping the ball in the forward line here. East Fremantle numbers everywhere. Watch Rayner hit the contest here. Here he is here behind the player. He hits the pack hard, creates the opportunity for himself on his left foot, and Wayne Rosa's had a terrific season, and that's a good start for him. Get an early touch, an early goal in a grand final. That's what you want as a player.
Back at centre field, there's the bounce. A good one too, Skender and Egan. It comes off Egan's back, stacks on the mill, and the umpire will repeat the process. The umpires this afternoon, Wayne French, Adam Binks and Simon Gill.
And I think East Fremantle realise that Ron Skender is West Perth's only ruckman. See how high Greg Egan's getting his knees at these bounce downs.
Let's have another look at it. Skender runs in with the same direction. Egan won the knock. Chance now there for Heath Uni, was swung around a couple of times. Skender got a semblance of a kick. Running onto it there was Chris Rigol, in fact Kim Rigol. He's caught in a tackle, dragged down, and the umpire once more will bounce it down.
You make a good point, Trevor. I think work him over, particularly early in the game, and well, East Fremantle got a number of players that can stand up and do that ruck work, whereas West Perth, if something happens to Ron Skender, will certainly be in trouble.
Egan out bodies him again, but there was deemed to be shepherding by the umpire. So Skender, who's already had a couple of very tough finals under his belt, he's got to stand up again, doing a manful job, gets his free kick down toward the half-forward line, knocked away. Chance there for Morrell, hand passes the ball over his head, comes out towards Rosa again, already very busy, sweeping hand pass into the open spaces at centre-half back. Dhurrkay's got the speed, gets clear, now with a short pass, misdirected. Julian was there, couldn't hold the mark, laid off beautifully to Melody. Melody now to the run there of Pobjoy. He was run down. Good work there by West Perth in defence, right in the clinches. They really need to hold East Fremantle up, and they did so with some good work by Ryan Webb. So it'll be a ball up just inside 50 for East Fremantle. They lead by 11 points. Opening 8 minutes of the 1998 Drive Safe Cup Grand Final. Ball up, a couple of West Perth players contesting it there, but Willison bursts away from the pack, unloads a thumping kick to the outer side of the ground. It needs to break away from Egan. It doesn't. In fact, it'll probably sit up for him in the southern wing. Greg Egan just camping himself a kick behind the play. Short pass into the pocket was a well-weighted one, and it's been marked by Scott Spalding. So Spalding, from a long way out, thumps it up towards the goal square. Big pack. Skender was there. He gets back and takes a very, very good mark. The umpire says play on. Well, off the hands of the pack. Contentious one early. Skender gets the hand pass out to Rayner, and the relieving pass isn't relieving. I think it is. It's been marked.
Now he's paid the mark after first calling play on, Phil.
Going to go back to Skender.
Well,
maybe a free kick.
He paid the free kick for over the shoulder. Skender was tackled over the neck.
Now he gets on with it quickly. Goes back to Mithka, still at the in the right full back pocket. Crossed the face of goal. Ryan Webb had to wait an eternity. That was risky, but Webb did so well. Took a very strong mark. Working him over on the mark there is Spalding, and now the ball is transferred back to the pocket again at right full back, and it ends up once more with Paul Mithka.
Well, the switch is on. I think West Perth are going to try and run East Fremantle off their legs. The short kick this time was down the line to Webb. Webb goes by hand, gets it away to Uni. Now a series of hand passes from Julian back to Uni, who kicks the ball towards half forward now. Thumped to arm defence by Greg Madigan, also playing his last game for East Fremantle today, being transferred his employment to Melbourne. Adrian Bromage goes on the left boot. The Sandover medalist to Melody. They link up so well. Then to half forward for East Fremantle. Thump to our defence. Willison doing well against Spalding early. Well, Skender in there helping out. Now it comes to Lee Willison. He's on his non-preferred right boot. Squares it in towards half forward. And Kirey in front of Rayner has taken the mark.
Turned his back on the play. Look at the East Fremantle player loose. Now that's a good example for young players. Never in that situation when you take a ball on 50, get back quickly, but look at what's in front of you. Clint Kirey turned his back on the play. He had an East Fremantle opponent. If he had got back quickly, he could have delivered to who was free.
Well, now he has to kick it. Having missed an opportunity, he'll kick from just on 50. Clint Kirey, the boy from Brigades in Geraldton, from just outside the 50-metre mark. The drop punt on the way. It's offline to the right-hand side. Good distance in the kick into the breeze. But the first behind on the boards of the Sharks. They're 2-1-13. And West Perth are just one behind, and the Sharks with the early ascendancy, Gary.
There's no doubt about that, Trev. West Perth are trying to run the ball out of the back line, but they just can't find that free player that's going to set up the loose man for them. East Fremantle putting a lot of pressure on the midfield, and West Perth seemingly having trouble across their half-forward line, not able to break the ball through.
Luke Rayner plays the ball to himself and then goes long to the southern side. Nearly a mark out there to Egan. Taps it cleverly to Spalding, onto Bromage. playing that link man game that he has done so well all season. A well-weighted kick towards full forward, looking there for O'Brien. He recovered beautifully. Now goes for the hand pass out to Spalding, to the left boot, and marking it in the goal square there is Brendan Barrows. Hand pass into the pocket, Rayner, still looking for an avenue out of defence. This time they go right down the corridor. Rayner looking for O'Brien, perhaps should have done better. Free kick anyway. The advantage Will was going to apply, but there was none there, and so the free kick will come back to Heath Uni at centre half-back. Heath Uni on screen, 19 years of age and on the West Coast Eagles list. Could have a future too. A very skillful player, opportunist, loves kicking goals. This one he squirts sideways and finds Luke Rayner. Goes from left half back over the wing, getting back John Stagg. Gee, he had a very good second semi-final, John Stagg, and that's a great mark. Opposed to Brendan Logan. It's a big job for him. Goes across the ground to centre half back. And that was a well-directed pass to Lee Willison, who loves to run through the midfield. Goes with a hand pass to Spalding, now gets it back. Good football by East Fremantle as Spalding drives it to the half-forward line. Earl Spalding the target, with him was Willison, and the ball eludes them both and goes over the line and out of bounds for a throw-in at left half-forward flank.
Gee, Lee Willison's doing a lot of damage. Gary seems to be running free in the middle of the ground.
I think he might have done something to his quad. I think on that kick there, he's holding the front of his thigh.
So Earl Spalding doing the ruck work with Ron Skender. It comes down to Barrows, the West Perth captain, who gets it on the left boot quickly and sitting back behind the players, Egan.
Don't be surprised if Lee Willison comes off shortly. I think he's injured a quad muscle. There's no doubt about that.
That'll be a blow to East Fremantle. But the ball to be thrown into play on the outer side of the ground. Egan to do the ruck work with Skender. The West Perth player gets in front and then tries to take clean possession, gets the hand pass off to Callum Chambers. He's taken on in the tackle. Now the ball scrambled forward, bursting through Kim Rigol. That's good football, but the hand pass has gone astray. Allows Bilcich to claim the free kick. But play on calls the umpire as the ball's come out. Now that's holding the ball. Well, I don't know. Perhaps advantage was paid there. And Kim Rigol went for a bounce and was grabbed in the tackle by the 100-game player, Chris Pobjoy.
Good desperation by Chris Pobjoy.
The forwards working hard to keep it in. Pobjoy boots towards full forward as Willison comes off the ground. Into the air they go. It's an East Fremantle mark. Well, Damien Condon, too strong in the contest there. He had Stephen O'Brien as well to beat. And missed the hands but went through to the chest. Matt Clucas comes on the ground to replace Lee Willison. This is Damien Condon now for East Fremantle's third goal. The reliable full forward, the veteran. Just 20 metres out from goal, the Subiaco end. We've had 14 minutes of play, and I think he's missed that. No, he hasn't. The Sharks have got their third. It just must have snuck in. 3-1-19 to one behind, and really, Gary, it's just about crunch time for the Falcons this early.
Well, East Fremantle playing extremely good football. They're very hard at the footy. At the moment, they're just first to it, and they've got the numbers around the contest, which is a real problem. As we just watch Lee Willison on the boundary line, no doubt that he's torn a quad muscle. Not much you can really do about that. Ice it up, but it will stiffen up, and I doubt it if he'll be able to play any further part. But West Perth really do need to get the ball into their forward line. They just hardly have got the ball inside 50 so far in this quarter.
Ball up back at centre field. O'Brien comes in from the offensive side of the square, but it's picked up by Christian Kelly as Trewella's on and Ryan Webb's off. Hurried kick up towards the half-forward line, fisted away by Collica. Uni will get there first, gets a reasonable bounce, then he's tied up in a tackle, hand passes toward the boundary line and it goes over.
Now Rose is in trouble in the middle of the ground as well from that centre bounce down. And there he is.
So these early goals, some great solo efforts by the East Fremantle players, but they certainly are taking their toll. There's the boundary throw in. Good knock there, won by Egan into the path of Bromage, who gathers and puts it onto the left boot. Each Fremantle player fell over at the critical time. That allowed Trewella in. It was Clucas who went to ground. Now the hand pass comes back to Rayner. High kick toward the outer wing. Comes off hands. Close to the line once more. And again, we'll see the ball thrown into play. Wayne Rosa limping off the ground. So this is not good news, Gary, for East Fremantle.
Well, two players in the first quarter are obviously seriously injured. Maybe Rosa a bit of an ankle or a slight strain of something in the knee area. But certainly not good news for East Fremantle.
There's the boundary throwing now. Bowden, who we thought might not play, has come on for the injured Rosa. In goes Clucas, recently on the ground. The ball spills clear. Bromage had it. Good tackle. Now Julian goes in. Met solidly by Dhurrkay. He goes to the ground. Dhurrkay somehow squeezes the ball out of the pack. Goes to O'Brien. They need a bit more from him in these early stages. He wobbles a kick to half forward. Thumped again forward by Kerr. Now it's taken by Logan. Kicks it to open spaces. Chance perhaps for West Perth. Morell needs to get into the front of the contest. Madigan does it well. Now he loses control of it, and Morell has it. The whistle has gone as the ball squeezes out of the pack and goes over and out of bounds.
I'll tell you one thing, Phil. Rep Bowden isn't fit. He's run onto the ground limping.
Well, they've got...
And he's limping badly. He's come straight off interchange and he's limping already.
Let's go boundary side with Rod Willett for an injury report.
Well, they look like they're in a bit of problems because Lee Willison's just gone down the race. He does seem to be in a fair bit of pain, and the comment is we won't see him back today.
So the ball on the outer side now. Melody scrambles it forward to Bromage. Then the hand pass comes back to Scott Spalding, having a good first quarter. Kicks towards half forward. Clucas just bodied his opponent, Truella, to take the mark. Well, maybe it wasn't paid. Play on now as Clucas tried to get the ball further afield. In goes Christian Kelly for West Perth. He can't break clear. Clucas lays a tackle, but he didn't have the football, or did he?
Yep.
No, the previous tackle was rewarded. This is Clucas. Shocking kick. It's hit his teammate there, Big Earl Sporting, a long way down for him. Dives on top of the footy, got some help according to the umpire, and gets the free kick for pushing the back. So Big Earl, and Truella going over the top of him. So a free kick there clearly. This kick from 65 metres, and Spalding signifying to clear it out and make a space. So they lead into that space now. O'Brien high, couldn't take the mark. Crumbs. West Perth have worked hard in defence. Stagg well up the ground as a free kick to Julian. Didn't see what it was for. Dhurrkay was perhaps the offending player. There it was. So Peter Julian on the defensive, or Dhurrkay stands the defensive 50-metre line as he takes the kick. And there it is, the switch again. The hand pass across to Troy Wilson. Runs across the logo and across the 50-metre defensive line. Kicks long towards centre wing. Barrows is down there. So too Corey Johnson. Dives, couldn't take the mark, and Stockton taps it over the line for East Fremantle. Been a settling down period for the last 3 or 4 minutes. And the Sharks in control. They lead by 18 points. Played 18 minutes in the first quarter. Skender and Egan doing the ruck work. Egan gets it down. Christian Kelly in close. Wrapped up by a couple of players there. The impact of those injuries, Gary, both didn't look too good, so East Fremantle perhaps with just one interchange player left, and Bowden on the ground, you said, not looking good.
Well, he's definitely limping and favouring a leg.
Yes, he had an injury to the knee as Morell, or Uni it may have been, got the ball forward for West Perth. Thumped to the ground by the East Fremantle defence. Logan gets on the left boot, scrambles it towards the goal square, rolling. Well, it didn't have the velocity to carry, and it's just one behind. There's Wayne Rosa on the bench, and they'll be working to get him right. The Falcons have 2 behinds, and East Fremantle are 3-1. John Kerr to kick the ball back into play.
Yes, and both of those players off the ground, Willison and Rosa, they were driving forces for East Fremantle in the opening part of this quarter. Helped East Fremantle open up a break, which is now 17 points, 3-1 to West Perth's 2 behinds. There's the kick into play by John Kerr, finds Dhurrkay, who ran hard into the pocket, and he's marked at right full back. Clears the defensive 50 with another short pass, and Scott Spalding certainly been in the action. Had a number of possessions. Comes down the members' wing, looking there for Chris Pobjoy, who flew, but good pressure coming from behind in the form of Darren O'Brien. It goes over. Earning the applause here from teammate Ryan Webb, who's sitting on the boundary line having a well-earned rest. Looks like Neil Mildenhall might be coming on shortly. So both coaches ringing the changes, and certainly Tony McHale out of necessity. Ron Skender wins a good knock. Corey Johnson needs to run onto it. Thumped away from him by Stephen Bilcich, and before Uni can get to it, goes over the line and out of bounds.
Justin Sanders has come on to play centre-half forward for East Fremantle.
As Callum Chambers goes off, and we see Neil Mildenhall, who kicked a match-winning goal for the Falcons last week. They need him now to lift the rest of the lineup and try and get the back into this match. There's the boundary throw-in, won by Egan at the feet of Stagg. Uni now gets a clever little hand pass out to Logan. Talk about clever. He's a clever player. Goes long and goals. He kicked a major. I think he might have. Well, great kick by Brendan Logan. And with those injuries, Gary Buckenara, and that lifting goal, the pendulum might start to swing the way of the Falcons.
Well, I've just felt that West Perth have just steadied in the last few minutes, maybe because of the injury, and East Fremantle becoming unsettled because of them. But certainly good play by Uni to get it to Logan on his left foot. That's a very good kick. and one, as you mentioned, Phil, that should really lift the spirits of West Perth. Always nice to get on the board, particularly after East Fremantle dominating so much in the first 10 or so minutes of this particular game. But West Perth have settled, and, well, East Fremantle, a bit of a challenge now. They won't have the flexibility on the bench that they might have had.
Well, back in the centre, bounce down, no clear tap away, but Egan will get the soccer kick towards half-back, but Julian will run onto it, smothered by Scott Spalding, having a terrific quarter. On the left boot, boots in towards the attacking 50. Condon leads Mifka in the race, gets around that player, screws over the left shoulder on the right boot. Don't tell me, Darren, Condon, magnificent goal. Well, he just measured that off so well. 4 goals, 125, East Fremantle, and West Perth 128. Gary, that's a team lifter.
Oh, it certainly is. And the way to answer the opposition when they do kick a goal, get the ball out of the middle. There's Scott Spalding, who's been very, very good so far in this quarter. Damien Condon, watch him collect the ball, always wants his right side. And they're goals that you practice down the park, Spriggy, time and time again. Just a goal sense to know where the goals are.
Well, Rod Willett's got another injury report, Boundary side.
Yes, thanks, Phil. I thought East Fremantle are in some trouble at the moment. They've got Rosa with a knee, Steve O'Brien off with a cork knee, and Lee Willison with a thigh. But if you can kick goals like that, they're going to be hard to beat.
You can say that again. Well, Rod Willett down in the casualty ward at the moment as the Falcons trying to go forward. Kelly's hurried kick was smothered. Williams was pushed off his. Now Johnson gets a scrambly hand pass out to Chris Rigol. Missed the second semi-final, but he's back in for the big day of the year. Short pass to Mildenhall. His confidence are up. Took them on, broke a tackle, and then finished off with a great short pass to Logan. Well, another goal here would be great for them, Gary.
Well, just what they would need. Brendan Logan, who is a good kicker of the ball, he's just got away from John Stagg in the last few minutes. And I'm sure the message will be going out to John Stagg just to tighten up, not to worry about too much of the ball for the next 5 or 10 minutes, just close Logan down.
Well, the flags here at Subiaco Oval indicate that the breeze is right behind him. Logan won't have any trouble with the distance. The goal umpire doesn't move. Well done, Brendan Logan. He's got his second. So terrific work, Gary, by West Perth to get back into this game. They're certainly in touch. 4 goals, 125 to 2-2-14.
Well, they certainly are, and I know if I was John Dimber, with the restrictions that East Fremantle have now got on the field and on the bench, you just tell the West Perth players to really keep running, really make it hard on East Fremantle, the tackling, the chasing, the putting the pressure on. And if they can wear them down and keep a full list of players themselves, then the game could really turn. So certainly East Fremantle, not too much luck in this first quarter as far as injuries go.
Yes, Wayne Rosa doing some sprints on the sideline. He may be able to come back. The hand pass there from Skender to Logan, the previous goal kicker. And working in is Kelly, but socket off the ground by Stagg. He's Logan's opponent, gets it in the attacking 50. Condon went for the man rather than the football, so Mifka can get it out for West Perth. Gets it to Kim Rigol. On the left boot, goes towards the boundary line. That was a quick kick, and it was needed to be quick. And he got the ball forward as his twin brother Chris goes over and says, well done. Gary Dhurrkay now the opponent for Kim Rigol. Boundary throw in, left centre wing for the Falcons. Kicking towards the city end with the breeze. They trail by 11 points. Bit of aerial ping pong in there. Logan's going to come up with it, but he's gang tackled. And Bromage brings him to the ground. Brendan Logan's kick 2 for the Falcons. Damien Condon 2 for East Fremantle. The full forward Wayne Rosa and Stephen O'Brien, who are both off the ground, have scored singles for them as well. So umpire Binks puts the ball down again. Egan goes for the tap, doesn't go too far. This is a chance for Collica, socket off the ground by Mildenhall. That's effective, gets it into the attacking 50. Morrell leads his opponent in the race for the ball. That's Greg Madigan, number 10 for East Fremantle. The ball beats both players over the line.
Mildenhall coming on and getting a few possessions, a couple of quick possessions in the midfield, and they've been quite good ones to drive West Perth forward. So a good steadying influence, experienced player on the field at this time.
The experienced Sandover medalist at the tap away came from Morrell at the feet of Pobjoy, who didn't really take it with him. Then a scramble kick from Kerr. It comes to Stagg, taps to Pobjoy, who gets it on the right boot but can't keep it in play under pressure. And Chris Pobjoy has put the ball over the line for a kick back into play by Christian Kelly of West Perth. Kelly from left centre wing, boots towards half forward as a much more composed West Perth now. 2 East Fremantle players, Madigan and Collica, win. Chance down there. Well, Wilson's down in the forward line. I'm not sure if he's been moved into that position, but he's not going anywhere, and he jogs back now to perhaps his position back in the back line. He just drifted down. So the ball bounced deep in the left full forward pocket for the Falcons. The tap away came from Egan to Madigan, but he couldn't do much with it. Working in hard, it comes to Collica. Uni's hand pass came to Collica, and he kept the ball in play. Good work by Justin Sanders. Took the mark, played on quickly. Hand pass to Pobjoy. Might have put the ball on the ground there. Bit lucky to get away with holding the ball decision. Well held to him, says the umpire.
Maybe just a little handball. I think he got away in the tackle.
Umpire Simon Gill there. Bounces the ball. Left half forward for West Perth. Sanders using body strength. Got his boot to the football. To left or to right centre wing for East Fremantle, and it beats Willison and Spalding over the line. Dying stages of the first quarter. The 1998 grand final. It's 4-1 to 2-2 in favour of East Fremantle.
Has been very entertaining. The Sharks off to a flying start, but the Falcons, to their credit, have pegged them back. On the members' wing, there's the throw-in. Sanders wins the knock opposed to Skender, but Trewella, who started on the bench, has it. Gathers it and hand passes to Uni, who steadies and goes straight down for centre half forward. Fisting it there from behind was Stockton. Comes from Pobjoy to Spalding. That's Scott Spalding. Hurried kick up towards the wing position. Through goes Willison. Kept the ball in front of him. Only as far there as Melody, though, who tried to work the ball forward. Scrambly play on centre wing. Gee, it's ferocious out there. Grand finals normally are. There's so much at stake. O'Brien went to the ground, got one in the back. And now the West Perth supporters are happy with Darren O'Brien getting a free on the centre wing. Chris Pobjoy not terribly happy about it. O'Brien usually uses his kicks well. This one was inch perfect. Finds Christian Kelly, took the mark and he plays on. Goes for the edge of the 10-metre square. Brunton had it knocked away from him by Kerr. In towards the pocket. Digby Morrell goes after it. Now he goes to the ground. West Perth had the numbers, at least the numbers still standing, as Brunton gathers from the 50, kicks on goal. Touched through on the line, I think it was. Yes, a rush behind for West Perth. But in the dying stages of this first quarter, 28 minutes have gone, Gary, and the Falcons are doing most of the attacking.
Well, you can see that West Perth have certainly steadied. They got themselves organised. Maybe East Fremantle a little bit unsettled with the injuries that have happened to them, but certainly West Perth working their way back and clawing their way back into this contest.
So John Kerr to kick the ball back into play. They've been constantly in attack as Kerr gets the warning. You heard the whistle. So he's got to go straight up the middle of the ground. That's the target. And he looks for Stockton in there, who dropped a chest mark. Ball on the defensive 50, came to Melody. Then the kick came to Bromage, sitting ahead of the play from Melody. They so often link up those two, but his kick is not good to set over middle. It's marked by Troy Willison, and his rebound football from West Perth on the outer side. And Corey Johnson is marked, right half forward, plays on quickly, but not a well-directed kick. Side team, both teams just struggling. There's John Dimmer going down to the quarter-time break, as Greg Madigan zoned up well then to take that mark for East Fremantle. The former Hawthorn Premiership player boots towards centre wing. Stockton this time on the hands was safer. Took the mark, played on, run through the middle of the ground. Came there from Melody, but Kelly doing well against him. Got the ball wide, and Troy Willison has marked for the Falcons.
Now, Willison is definitely trying to run Spalding's legs off. We've seen him on a couple of sorties up forward. And Earl Spalding, 33 years of age, will be feeling the pinch. It's a warm day as Willison kicks up towards the half-forward flank, but Collica, a player of great potential, has taken a superb mark. Michael Collica, 21 years of age, and has got a future as a footballer, one would still think. Goes with a short pass. Gee, it had to be inch perfect, and it was to Martin Melody on the southern wing. So Marty Melody settling things down for East Fremantle. Again goes short. The run comes from behind him in the form of Justin Sanders. As the siren goes, Sanders unloads a long kick, but a good first quarter. The first quarter of the 1998 Drive Save Cup Grand Final, and East Fremantle at quarter time lead by 10 points. They're 4 goals 1 to West Perth's 2 goals 3.
Yes, Tony McCall at the moment a little bit worried. He's trying to make his players a little bit more positive. He said, we've won the quarter. He said, we're 2 goals in front. He said, let's just keep doing it. He said, don't worry about the injuries. He said, that's not going to stop us from winning the game. On the other hand, West Perth, very positive. Let's look for the open spaces and try and open this game up and break and slow East Fremantle down.
OK, thanks for Rod Willett, and let's hope for a positive start by West Perth. They trail at quarter time, or at the commencement of the second quarter, by 10 points. The Sharks 4 goals 1, West Perth 2-3, as the recommencement of play starts at centre field. Knocked down by Skender, sharked by Dhurrkay, hurriedly across his body, and it's marked between the centre of the ground and centre half forward by Earl Spalding. Spalding goes long towards full forward. Getting in the way there was Trella, couldn't control the mark. Rose is back on the ground. He couldn't control it either as Rayner goes with a clearing kick to the boundary line, and it just went too far and has gone over the line and out of bounds on the full.
And Marshall Stockton is a new opponent for Brendan Logan. John Stagg been taken off him.
Scott Spalding with his 11th possession, had a great first quarter, goes in towards full forward. Gee, players almost stopped there as Barrows came into the action, got an easy possession. Now he runs away from defence, clears the defensive 50, a couple of bounces, and he goes down the southern wing. On a lead there was Brunton. He couldn't mark it. He hasn't been in the play much. And now the umpires come in, seeing a high tackle on Michael Collica. And the East Fremantle defender will take his free kick, goes short once again to Spalding. Now, Willison had a good first term on him, but he's got to be careful not to relax, because Earl Spalding, premiership player in 1995 with Carlton, certainly has all the tricks of the trade. Motions with his hands, then goes long down towards centre half forward. Big pack flies it, cleared most of them. Here's Condon, tried to butt break clear, gets it a second chance at it, lays the handball off to Dhurrkay. Another one down there to Collica, who's followed on from defence. He kicks on goal, won't come back enough, and scrambles in for a minor score.
Just interesting there, Phil. Gary Dhurrkay on the run gave it to a player that was flat-footed, and really it's not the way to give it to it. Really, in that situation, if you're going to handball, make sure the player is on the move and moving towards goals inside 50, whereas Gary Dhurrkay probably better off to size the goals up himself and have a shot on that particular occasion.
Yes, and probably get the shepherd from a Michael Collica
exactly.
as he headed for goal. So Luke Rayner's told to kick the ball back into play quickly, and he goes short and finds the target, Paul Mifka, who's closed out by Stephen Bilcich, the East Fremantle captain. Mifka will look to left and try and switch it as Rosa stands the mark, playing in the forward pocket, obviously hampered by that ankle injury or maybe knee injury. The kick from Mifka came to Uni, who boots towards half forward now, up in that area. Stockton goes high. Logan might have been grabbed without it. He was
Johnson.
It's Johnson, in fact. Now the opponent for John Stagg. Johnson kicks in towards half forward, thumped away by Madigan. The crumbs come to Logan, who's locked in, couldn't get around, and the East Fremantle defenders closed him out. He went over the boundary line, according to the boundary umpire, and the ball will be thrown into play as the Falcons are at right half forward, just outside their attacking 50. Member side of Subiaco Oval, the northern side. Thumped further afield by Pobjoy, but comes as far as Morrell, who didn't get his kick in quick enough. Chris Rigol works in hard, but his hand pass goes astray. Pobjoy gets it wide to Bromage. So often links the play, the Sandover medalist, and that was a good kick across the body. Dhurrkay, however, couldn't take the mark. Uni's doing well against him. Now Dhurrkay, the Fremantle Dockers player, gets clear on the left boot, kicks onto the run. Bilcich runs onto it and saw his teammate across the ground. Got the ball over to Egan. Egan to the goal square, and Condon kicks the goal. Terrific vision football by East Fremantle. Condon's got his third. The Sharks are 5-2-32 and West Perth 2-3-15.
Yes, what great vision. On the replay you'll see from Stephen Bilcich, as called by Trevor Sprigg there, and it was great vision. He was running flat out towards the opposite pocket. Watch him here, runs onto the play well, spots the East Fremantle player. Look at that for a brilliant piece of vision and football, and gets the ball to Egan. Egan unselfishly over the top to Damien Condon. He's got his third. He's having a great start to this grand final. A great play by Stephen Bilcich.
Skender jumps into Egan there. In fact, it was Sanders. Now he's rewarded with a possession. Gets it out to the run of O'Brien. He was assisted there by Kim Rigol. There goes the O'Brien kick up towards centre half forward in front Brunton. Well, this could be the quick reply, and something happening off the ball there. The umpire having a word to Greg Madigan, but all eyes on Brunton, who got position. Now it's going to be 50 metres, Gary, so a gimme goal to West Perth.
It's just the reply that West Perth were so much in need for, and obviously he's going to be put on the line. It looked like he was going to put him halfway in the goal square there for a minute.
It would have been against Greg Madigan, wouldn't it, I think?
I think so.
Dean Brunton off a step, kicks the ball right up into the second tier of the three-tier grandstand, and a good reply there to the Falcons. We'll catch this on replay and see exactly perhaps what it was that earning the 50-metre penalty. But Gary, there's a Chris Rigol firing a good hand pass out to Darren O'Brien.
Yes, quick transference of play off to Darren O'Brien. There's the mark. Good vision, and I think copping one as he took the mark from Greg Madigan, and obviously deemed by the umpire that was unnecessary, and 50 metres well, it wasn't really 50 metres, but it took him to the goal line.
It was all he needed.
But it was a good reply. East Fremantle get the first goal, and West Perth answer back.
Yes, the Falcons are hanging in there. Not a good bounce. Fisted forward by Bowden. Back into the pack, though. Justin Sanders tries to work his way clear. Martin Melody so often does from these situations. Gets the hand pass out to Collica. Couldn't take it. Might have been held. Pobjoy's there. Ran himself back into some problems. Knocks the ball along the ground. It's socket into open space by Melody. Collica once more. He got the call from Melody, but this is a little untidy by the Sharks. None more so than that, as the short pass went straight to Williams. And talk about untidy, it's contagious. His short pass is marked by John Stagg. So comedy of errors there as Stagg has the ball. Just backward of the outer wing, goes up towards the half-forward line. Willison there opposed to Spalding, did well, but he couldn't complete the mark. Now it's with Pobjoy. Hand passes to Dhurrkay. He fumbles. Gee, the pressure's on out there in the grand final of 1998. Now it's Kelly. A steadying little pass is a beauty because it opens up the play. Williams can run. He's urged on by the crowd. Away goes Williams. Gets a shepherd, runs himself into problems. Gee, this is turnover football at the moment. He relinquishes the football to Bowden, who kicks it back up towards centre wing, and it's marked out there by Dhurrkay.
And he can go on quickly. He's got a couple of leads. He gets it to Melody. Rose has gone back onto Logan now. Stockton's gone on to Uni, who's been cutting up Dhurrkay. And Dhurrkay's moved on to Rigol. Melody from the centre of the ground. Boots towards full forward. Egan will set. And Egan will mark. Now, this is a good move by coach Tony McCall, Gary. He's got Egan the forward, or the more mobile player up in the forward line, and Justin Sanders doing the ruck work.
Yes, the bullocking work, as we know, Justin Sanders can do, matched up to Ron Skender. So that's a good matchup. Now, Egan is very strong in the air, and he's going to cause some more marking power problems for West Perth down there, and he's provided that option. But a beautiful kick into the forward line on that occasion. What's he like at kicking goals? Not too sure about that, but certainly a very big kick for East Fremantle.
So Greg Egan sets it up. The drop punt on the way looks pretty good. And Greg Egan's move to the forward line has paid off. He got the one to Damien Condon. Now he's kicked one himself. The Sharks moved to 6-2-38 and the Falcons are 3-3-21.
Well, certainly, once again, here's the kick from Martin Melody. A beautiful kick there to the leading player. He just got the break on his opponent there and was able to strongly wrap up the mark. And yes, a good finisher of the ball also too. He's kicked truly, and that's a very good goal for East Fremantle. Just to reply that one from Brunton again. So a very good grand final so far in this game.
Well, back at centre field, Skender again opposed to Sanders. Sanders does well. Gee, Skender might be starting to tire. That would be understandable as Sanders wins possession, kicks it down toward the pocket, cleared the pack. That was Egan who was sprawling for it. And the ball cleared his head and went over the line and out of bounds.
That was just one of those floating punts off the boot that just travel that extra 5 metres that you sometimes, when you're under them, can be hard to judge. And obviously Greg Egan on that occasion found it hard to judge.
Gary, there's the big crowd on the hill, and the hill won't be any more after this game, will it? It's going to be changed. Yes. There'll be seating there.
Yes. It's history here at Subiaco Oval this afternoon. The ball comes down out of that boundary throw into Bromage, who's already getting plenty of possessions. What about this one? It's bounced through for a goal, I think. Adrian Bromage, the opportunist, on the right side of that boundary throw-in, just gathered possession, kicked it goalward, cleared the pack, and in fact, was it Kirey? It might have been Kirey. We'll see it on replay. I thought it was Bromage, but certainly, Gary, another goal to the Sharks, and this is starting to look dangerous.
Well, I think you'll find it is Bromage. There it is there. And really at a boundary throw, and when it's in the attacking side of your forward line, really he should have been manned up then. There was no West Perth player near him, and really you just allow an easy kick forward on those occasions without any opposition at all. And really they've got to watch that particular incident and make sure they're manned up at boundary throw-ins.
So 10 minutes, sorry, Spriggy, 10 minutes have gone in this second quarter. Comes down towards Mildenhall, who touches the ball down once and looks downfield for options. Not too many offering at the moment for West Perth. Here's a bit of luck for them. The ball clears the pack. Rosa falls over. Can Logan kick his third goal? He drills it into the goal score, and Brunton kicks his second. Well done, West Perth. Well, just when you think they might be starting to falter and the Sharks might be going to extend a match-winning lead, the Falcons just fight back. They did it all day against Subiaco last week in the preliminary final, and now they've narrowed the margin again, Gary.
We're just under 3 goals now. They just keep fighting back, but good play by Logan. Unfortunately, Wayne Rose are going to ground there, and that freed up Logan. And Logan could have shot on goal, but very good pass. He was looking for Brunton. That's unselfish play. Good percentage play because Brunton had made the space into the square.
Gary, you wouldn't think that a fit Wayne Rose would have gone to ground then?
No. Obviously being hampered there. Just looking at him, he is limping, no doubt about that.
Umpire Gill puts it down in the middle of the ground. Sanders goes high. Skender ends up with it underneath that pack of players. Sanders on top of him. There's Brendan Barrows. The West Perth captain is currently off the ground. He's coming back on, though, to go to the forward line in place of Digby Burrell. Sanders wins the tap. It comes to Bowden, who hasn't had much of the football. Gets it towards Scott Spalding. Mildenhall takes him on. Dhurrkay arrives. Can't take it. Christian Kelly in there for West Perth as well. And the ball comes to the standstill on the front edge of the square. The direction to which East Fremantle are kicking. The Sharks logo there. The Sharks today going for their 29th premiership flag. There's some dispute about 28 or 29, but 29 is the right amount. It comes to Mildenhall. Scott Spalding dives on top of him and is going nowhere. And Gary Tony McCall has addressed the situation with players getting the ball in the middle of the field. Uni has been picked up by Stockton now.
Yes, just closed it up. Just tightened his East Fremantle players on those midfield places to close it up a bit.
There he is, Stockton getting the ball forward to the attacking 50. Kirey takes it off hands on the left foot, didn't steady on that occasion, Kirey, and missed to the left-hand side. Was under a bit of pressure, but perhaps should have done a little better with that. So 7-3-45 to 4-3-27 now. 18-point margin in favour of the Sharks. 12 minutes in the second quarter. The 1998 West Star Rules Grand Final. There's Neil Mildenhall as Luke Rayner prepares to kick the ball into play. He's going to the outer side of the ground and has found his teammate out there in Christian Kelly at half-back left towards back pocket. The Town and Country stand side of the ground. He boots towards the centre wing, thumped away in defence by Egan, crumbs to Stockton, hand pass to Collica, and he had some options then. Well, it was Bilcich and Earl Spalding, and the latter has taken the mark. Big Earl Spalding, the assistant coach of East Fremantle, just 4 possessions today against Troy Willison. But this kick from, well, just outside 50. Earl in his career not renowned as a great set shot for goal, but much better later on as he worked hard at it. Slight breeze assisting this kick. The drop punt on the way. It'll drop short in the goal square where they'll set, and it's thumped off hands. Good defensive football by Ryan Webb of West Perth, and one behind to the Sharks. So they have a 19-point lead as we've played 13 minutes in the second quarter.
So it's what you like to see, Trev. Ryan Webb just going up and destroying that ball. Good discipline there.
Luke Rayner comes in very short again. That's been West Perth's policy, and finds Kim Rigol. Lays it off back to Rayner. Hand pass over the top of oncoming traffic, and that finds Mifka, who clears the defensive 50. Now West Perth can open up the play. 3 bounces, poor Mifka, taking a bounce every 5 or 6 paces. Now he's run himself into a bit of a problem. The hand pass, not a good one. Comes back to Mifka, but socket off the ground out there by Egan. Chance, though, for the Falcons to redeem themselves. It comes to Uni. Uni from centre wing, goes to centre half forward, and that was a beautiful pass by Uni. Skender on the end of it. He wants to get on with it quickly. Goes into the pocket, and East Fremantle just a little ragged down this end of the field just for the moment, as Logan's found some space in the left full forward pocket.
Gee, Rose is in trouble keeping up with Logan.
Yep. Yes, Brendan Logan really is having a birthday down there, running Wayne Rose around, but gee, the East Fremantle dynamo is suffering from a leg injury at the moment, as we see, I think, Heath Uni coming off the ground and Callum Chambers going in. So John Dimmer trying to keep his charges fresh. We want to keep this man fresh because Brendan Logan has already kicked 2 goals, comes in from 49 metres and kicks another one. So West Perth, gee, they're hanging in there. Comments from Gary Buckenara in just a moment, but a score check sees East Fremantle 7 goals for 46, leading West Perth 5-3-33. The margin back to 13 points.
Yes, they're certainly hanging in there, Phil, and one just feels that they're mounting a bit of a challenge now. They're starting to get their running game going, and these problems are starting to surface. Rose is a problem on Logan at the moment, and they just... we've got Rhett Bowden out there, who, for mine, is limping quite noticeably, and hard to... and they're trying to run him around also, so there are some problems creeping in here for East Fremantle. They are playing quite well, but it could really develop as the game goes on.
Well, they need the next goal. They try and barge it forward, but Truella gets it for West Perth, but bursting through. Good work, Bowden. Got it to Earl Spalding, who kicks towards the full forward line. Kirey dropping back, couldn't take the mark. Crumbs fall on this occasion to Condon, who gets the hand pass wide to Dhurrkay. He's taken on strongly by Mifka, scrambles a kick forward, but Luke Rayner will break it up for West Perth. They're playing with confidence now, the Falcons, and the chip kick has found Skender, who's sitting ahead of the play now and being the release point for West Perth, as they was when they kicked that last goal. So Justin Sanders will have to be aware of that. The hand pass off to Rayner, the kick to Logan. There's Rosa standing the mark. Logan on the left boot, looks for his captain, Brendan Barrows. Down they come. Brunton ridden into the ground by John Kerr. Some undisciplined acts creeping into the Sharks' play. Brunton belts the ball forward. Collica all set, can't mark. Ball on the ground. He'll get back to it first, the Fremantle youngster. Has good composure as he stands and props in the back pocket, but kicked to a 2-on-1 situation. Chris Rigol thumped away. Kerr missed it, having a bad day today, John Kerr. Crumbs come to Christian Kelly, who's working hard. He's dispossessed. The ball falls for Andrew Williams. Squares it off to the top of the goal square. Truella will set. Two East Fremantle players go up and spoil each other. Truella works in hard, gets it to Logan. Now Rosa tries to burst through. Can't do so. Fierce tackling in there. The ball finally comes to a standstill. Terrific football you expect in grand finals, and the Sharks are under the pump. They're 7-4. They lead West Perth by 13 points to a 5-3.
Yes, I thought Brendan Logan almost held without it there, and would have been almost within distance for him as well. There's the ball up. Sanders and Skender do the work. The ball lands at their feet, and once again the umpire will have to repeat the process. Ron Skender getting up off the bottom of the pack there. Umpires Adam Binks, Wayne French and Simon Gill, and they've done a pretty good job too. 17 minutes gone in the second quarter, 13 points the difference. Ball up, won there by Sanders. Comes down towards Chris Rigol, couldn't get a clear position. Now he can, gives it off to Williams. His kick's mothered, still West Perth have possession. There's the West Perth player, Mildenhall, slung to the ground. Play on's the call. The umpires just for the moment have thrown the whistle away as Scott Spalding close to the line. In fact, he goes over, and we'll see the ball thrown back into play between right half forward and right full forward for the Falcons.
Do you sense a defining moment in this game here, Gary?
Yeah, it's very tough down there. West Perth working and throwing a real challenge to East Fremantle here.
Sanders wins the knock. This will go back over the boundary line before Mildenhall can get it. We saw Scott Spalding's stats just a moment ago, 11. Most of them in that first quarter, as we see Bowden coming off and Clucas coming back on the ground. There's Rhett Bowden going to the dugout, and as Gary Buckenara said, not fit this afternoon. Up goes Sanders, knocks the ball down to the boundary line again. Mildenhall's there, he's under all sorts of pressure, gets support from Truella. Now he gives it off to Chris Rigol, bundle over the boundary line, and the crowd, Gary, are really appreciating this ferocious grand final.
Well, they're getting involved, which is great, trying to pick up, and they're right in front of the West Perth main area. And the West Perth supporters really trying to urge their team on here.
Madigan doing some ruck work. Couldn't get the ball away clearly. Stockton thrown to the ground. Here's Pobjoy. Gee, they ran over the top of him, and the veteran will get a free kick. On the belt-up logo, members side of the ground, we'll see Chris Pobjoy taking his free kick. A little lucky, Gary. Gee, he ducked into it, didn't he? He did. They went over the top of him. Pobjoy now kicks to the half-forward line. All West Perth down there, and Troy Willison, who's done a terrific job, has taken a saving mark.
Hand passes off quickly to Luke Rayner. The switch is on as West Perth go to the outer side of the ground. No mark taken. Collica barges the ball forward. Good football by the youngster. Not a good kick, though. He really didn't steady on that occasion. He's kicked it straight back to Rayner.
What sort of a game's he played?
Terrific performance by Luke Rayner. He kicks the ball back towards centre wing, and he's found his teammate out there, Kim Rigol, who wants to play on, gets around Dhurrkay, and then really didn't get much of a chase from that player. Some bad sides for the Sharks here. Rigol's trying to do too much. Finally got the kick in and found Williams at half forward left. Andrew Williams boots the ball towards the attacking 50. Logan's going to have to set. Rosa with him. Made up some ground. The hand pass came from Sanders to Egan. And now to Pobjoy as he runs through the middle of the ground. The Sharks need a mark. Condon will set. Over the top he goes. Crumbs to Rayner, who stood tall in the back line, the former Victorian. Got the left foot kick forward. Comes to Brendan Barrows, right centre wing. Hand pass off to the ever-present Kelly, who kicks towards half forward. But Brunton waited for that. Or Logan it was, and Madigan got the ball over the line and out of bounds. A tired Brendan Logan. There's Greg Madigan's stats, just 2 possessions today. Greg Egan to do the ruck with Ron Skender. Goes with the left hand and then gets a second thump at it. Scott Spalding and Neil Mildenhall having a terrific battle. Mildenhall tapped away to his teammate. Boots the ball forward. Chambers up towards half-forward left. Into the air they go. Logan couldn't mark. This is Rosa. Got the hand pass off to Egan. Went back into trouble. East Fremantle have the numbers. A scrambled kick. Only as far as Kelly from Madigan, who was grabbed but not in possession. Christian Kelly and will take the free. Christian Kelly just outside attacking 50. Logan had dropped back. There was a chance to go to him. There goes the torpedo. This is going to land in the goal square. Collica gets back for East Fremantle to take the mark. And the switcher plays on. He's got it over towards Stagg, who will run the ball out of defence for East Fremantle.
Yes, John Stagg still under all sorts of pressure. The Falcons are really applying it at the moment, taking it right up to East Fremantle, but somehow they clear it through Melody, who goes long toward the boundary line. At least he's hoping, because the Falcons have got the numbers back there and the ball just goes over the white line. Well, it certainly has been something, Gary. The last 10 minutes has been a package of football as fierce as you'd want to see anywhere.
Well, they're really throwing it up to East Fremantle. I think they sense they're in trouble. There's no doubt about that. East Fremantle and West Perth are sensing that also. And they're really throwing the challenge up to them. Fierce tackling, pressure with the man on the ball, and West Perth look good at the moment.
Skender wins it. Kelly's kick smothered, but he's been very busy. Now Melody tries to crash through the pack, kept the ball in front of him. Now he goes to ground. The ball somehow comes back towards Christian Kelly. He was caught. Got his boot to it on the second occasion. Diving effort there from Justin Sanders. In fact, it was John Stagg. Couldn't keep the ball in play, and once more it's gone over.
One just feels maybe the next goal in this contest could be really vital. If East Fremantle could steal a goal against this pressure, it really could have an effect on West Perth, whereas if West Perth get it, it could really lift their spirits right up.
Boundary throw in one by Egan. Again, Kelly getting plenty of the footy. A lot of his kicks are going very short, symptomatic of the pressure that's on there. Uni had it momentarily. He was dumped. It comes out of the pack there towards Johnson. Hand passes to the line, and a tired Greg Madigan goes over the white line with the football. Well, the efforts of both sides really being appreciated here this afternoon. The grand final of 1998 has been an outstanding contest so far. The Sharks lead 7-4 to West Perth 5-3. 22.5 minutes into the second quarter. Up goes Egan again, works down to Bromage. Somehow he kicks it the wrong way. Dived to get put there by Barrows. A Smith's catch, if ever you've seen one. Oh, marvellous effort as we see it in replay, Gary.
Oh, great effort, no doubt. They're the little desperate things West Perth are doing at the moment. They're throwing their bodies hard at the ball, and they really are working hard. Now, this will be a... Well, Brendan Barrows, he'll probably have to kick this one from 55 metres. One would feel that it would probably just be beyond him. Greg Madigan's going to take a run up at him, so I'd say this one's going to land in the square.
Well, we saw Brendan Logan kick one from around about 59 metres, but as Gary Buckenara says, this one is going to be something perhaps a little bit beyond Brendan Barrows. It was a great mark. If they can convert here, this will really get West Perth on a roll. A good long kick by Barrows right up toward the goal square. Chambers is back there. East Fremantle have the numbers. Punch the ball clear. Milden all over the top. Makes good body contact. Kept in play there down there by Johnson. But Stagg for East Fremantle has got the defensive speed. Breaks clear. Kicks with a clearing kick to the boundary line. And once again it goes over ahead of Matthew Clucas. Well, the West Perth supporters, they really are fired up, and well they should be, because West Perth have really made a contest of this over the last 10 minutes.
Yes, fantastic performance. They've really sensed they can do something in this game against all odds. Skender goes high, can't take the ball with him. Egan in there for East Fremantle as well. And the Sharks, Gary, just need someone to stand up with some composure now.
Yes, they certainly do, and it's just midfield. They've lost their way a little bit midfield. So some of the matchups are really getting away from them at the moment, and they just need someone to stand up in the midfield and just lead the way.
So Egan goes high, but the tap is won by Skender, but the kick is smothered by Rigol from Bromage. And once again, stacks on the mill develop, and the ball will be bounced. It's going to be a last man standing affair, one senses this going this. Marshall, Stockton and Heath Uni now back on the ground. And a brief stint on the bench. A good player today, Uni. Skender wins the tap again, and then thumped further afield by Chris Rigol into the path of his brother Kim. State player this year, got towards full forward line. Chance for Brunton, locked in, ducked his head, should be holding the ball. Well, that was an ordinary decision by the umpire there, because there was certainly prior opportunity. What do you think, Gary?
Well, he had the first option, but the ball sort of spilled out and ended up with the East Fremantle player, and I think that's what saved Dean Brunton in the end.
I think the replay shows that, doesn't it?
Umpire Simon Gill there, deciding to bounce deep in the right full forward pocket for the Falcons. Skender working hard. It comes to Corey Johnson. His quick kick has gone into the grandstand. So not being able to put it around from there. So John Kerr will take the kick back into play. There's some of the crowd. Terrific crowd here. Kerr can run off. Got pretty close to Rigol there. Kicks towards half forward. Thumped away in defence by Mildenhall. Well, he's in attack actually. There's Neil Mildenhall. And the Falcons have it at right half forward. There's big Ronnie Skender doing a mammoth job in the ruck. Sanders and Egan against him. This is Egan, wins the left-handed tap. Down there in the direction of Kelly, though. It comes to Pobjoy, the hand pass to Dhurrkay, and might be able to get that bit of brilliance that East Fremantle need. Can't mark there was Condon, the ball on the ground. They work in hard over the top. Ryan Webb can't break clear for West Perth. Clucas in there, number 4 for East Fremantle. Chris Rigol finally gets it out. He's beset upon. Paul Mifka, hello, got it clear. Now Luke Rayner through the middle of the ground, up towards full forward, and mark to Brunton. He's doing well against John Kerr, and just the perseverance of the West Perth Falcons in the midfield got this ball to Brunton, Gary.
There's no doubt about that. He got a bit of treatment too after the marker on the ground, so he might have been a little bit lucky, John Kerr, then. But just the weight of numbers around the ball there, they're knocking the ball on, they're tapping the ball onto advantage, and they're used to the ball at the moment under a bit of East Fremantle pressure. It was very good, and well, Luke Rayner's been fantastic out of the back line there. That was a brilliant kick to the leading player, but they're giving themselves a little bit of space in their forward line, and they're kicking the ball into that space, which gives the forwards an opportunity.
Brunton's kick can make the margin 7 points with his third goal. It's not going to make the distance. They go high. The crumbs will come to Bromage. That was Egan who went high. Now East Fremantle can transfer play on the outer side. They've done that to Pobjoy. If he can keep it in play, well, I think he went for the safe option there because Darren O'Brien was closing him out, and the veteran saw the ball over the line and out of bounds.
That's them looking a little bit shaky because Pobjoy really should have taken possession, Gary, shouldn't he?
Well, in the second quarter, it's hard to look for the boundary line in that situation. When you're first to the ball and you've got an opportunity to drive the ball into your attacking half.
And you're 13 points in front or thereabouts. There's the boundary throw in. Dhurrkay controls it beautifully on his fingertips. Now he gives the ball off over to Spalding, but that was a bad move. It goes astray. Mildenhall gets an important possession, puts West Perth up to around about their 50-metre zone again. Giving chase is Collica. Logan had the run of the footy. Collica does well to tie the ball up, and he's halved it, and that was an important half too.
Yeah, he's now on Logan, Michael Collica, so Tony McHale swapping things around, and well, he's giving a bit of height, Brendan Logan, but Collica's impressed me in this final series. He showed a lot of poise and maturity for a player so young.
Gary, we must have gone about 10 or 12 minutes since the last goal. The next one is very important because this has been a very, very tough passage of football, hasn't it?
Well, it certainly has been tough, hard, and well, as I mentioned before, the next goal is very, very important. Both sides just really dour defence at the moment. They're just attack at the ball, man up all over the field, and that's why it's hard to score.
Egan wins the knock. Uni runs into trouble after getting possession. Socket off the ground there by Brendan Barrows. Inside 50, Logan's there, but Collica working him over. Now Stagg goes back into defence, but he's running the wrong way. Knocks the ball to the boundary line. And about 15 metres around from West Perth's goal, we'll see it thrown again. The point I'm making is that West Perth have worked so hard. If they get the next goal, it's really going to be worth 2 or 3 to them.
Yes, there's no doubt about that, but it mightn't be pretty football at the moment, but it's really good, hard football.
Very entertaining stuff. It comes down towards Callum Chambers. Can he snap a goal? This could be a remarkable goal to the Falcons. It's the one I was talking about. Callum Chambers has kicked a point.
Well, a big build-up there, Phil. It was a great effort.
That was the point I was talking about.
Yeah, that point, the next score. But it certainly was a good effort by Callum Chambers over his shoulder on the left side.
As John Kerr kicks back into play, the Sharks have scored 3-3 to 3-1 for the quarter. Collica couldn't take the mark. Logan can kick his fourth as he runs across 50. Goes for home. He's gone across the face. And, well, that might just show you how much East Fremantle have got the jitters at the moment, because Wayne Rosa could have marked that ball on his chest, but was unsure, so he thumped it through for a behind. So the margin 11 points now, dying stages of the first half. John Kerr, well, I know East Fremantle will try and must regain their composure at half-time. The chip kick into play comes from Kerr and finds Scott Spalding. He's had 11 possessions till now. He goes across the ground. and has found Stagg out there. Has been under pressure and stood up well, John Stagg. Kicks the ball towards centre wing. Condon sets, couldn't take the mark at the second grab. Egan in there also for East Fremantle, but O'Brien brings it away for West Perth. Kicks towards half forward. Collica should have spoiled. Probably did in the finish. Stagg in there for crumbs as well. Collica can't take it away for East Fremantle, but finally they just ball it up and dive on top of the football. Desperation stakes. Stephen Bilcich, the captain in there for East Fremantle, saying, settle down, boys. We've got to keep our composure here. The Sharks still lead by 11 points. They've got injury problems on the bench. As a siren sounds to end the first half of one of the toughest grand finals you'll see in a long time. And the Sharks lead by 11 points. They're 7-4-46, and the Falcons are 5-5-35.
And that's the kind of football that I like. That's the kind of football that I like. That's the kind of football that I like.
Well, they're a very experienced side, East Fremantle. They'll know that their backs are against the wall here, and they can win a grand final. I'm sure Tony McHale would have said, look, you know, this is backs to the wall stuff. We've been the best side all year. Now, you really are getting the challenge thrown down to you by West Perth. We are limited on the interchange bench. These are the games that you do remember at the end of your career. When you do win a grand final, when your back's against the wall, there's no better feeling. Now we've got a great challenge amongst ourselves to really do something special here and really put our hands up.
And some of the statistics from the first half: Martin Melody with 14 possessions for East Fremantle, Adrian Bromage also with 14, Scott Spalding 12, Gary Dhurrkay 11, Michael Collica 9. A good second half from that player. For West Perth, Luke Rayner's had 15, Christian Kelly and Heath Uni each had 12. Brendan Logan, who's terrorised the East Fremantle defenders, has had 10, along with Ronnie Skender. Free kicks, we know, 10-7 in favour of West Perth. Inside 50 for the game, 24 East Fremantle, 23 West Perth. So it's pretty even in that regard. I did notice, though, Phil, that Clint Kirey came to the bench for East Fremantle, and Rhett Bowden came out very late and still looked, well, pretty lame.
Very proppy.
Yes, Luke Rayner's form has been outstanding. Trevor, he had a great start to this season, didn't he? His first in the West Star Rules. Dropped off after the state game, had a bit of a shoulder injury, which hindered him for the best part of the latter part of the year. But in this match today, when the Falcons have really needed him, he has shone through. Held the defence together and done extremely well. While the second half about to get underway, the Falcons just trailing the Sharks. There's the ball up, and Skender runs at it. Gets a fist to it, but it falls straight to the foot of the pack. 7 goals for East Fremantle, West Perth 5-5. And only 11 points separating these two sides after a ferocious first half of football. There's the recommencement of play, won by Sanders, soccering it into the open spaces. There was O'Brien. Now he follows it up. Kim Rigol relinquishes the footy, and it goes to Rosa. Rosa now with a little chip pass into the path there of Pobjoy, who gathers, kicks on goal, and has put it through. Well, Chris Pobjoy, look at him, he's excited. And that's just the start that East Fremantle wanted. They felt the Falcons on their heels at half-time. But, Gary, that's going to set East Fremantle on the path that Tony McHale, no doubt, mapped out for them at half-time.
Well, that's a great goal to them. Really, after the second centre bounce, there's Justin Sandon working the ball forward. You see that little tap on there? That was not the percentage play there by Kim Rigol. He wanted to take possession of that, and that caused a turnover. And then quickly, Wayne Rosa worked well in that contest, got the ball to Chris Pobjoy. That's a very good start for East Fremantle, and just the one that they would have been looking for.
Umpire Simon Gill puts the ball down the middle of the ground again. Sanders won the first tap, not this one. Rigol tries to burst through. That's Kim. Bromage's kick is smothered. Skender works hard, gets the hand pass to Mildenhall, and he's, well, jumped on by about 3 East Fremantle players. Gary Dhurrkay there, one of them. And there's Neil Mildenhall picking himself up. Interested spectators with the binoculars, watching every minute of the action. It's been fantastic in this grand final. Thumped forward by Sanders. He did that before. It goes wide. Chance for Spalding to put the ball forward. Up towards full forward. Punch to one defence. Clucas will be a chance. Takes Williams on strongly. Ball to ground. Rayner might have got a free kick. The ball jars free to Pobjoy, the previous goal kicker. Plenty of pressure in there. Finally, Mifka scrambles a kick forward. It only comes to Dhurrkay on the 50-metre attacking line. He's clever. He gets on the left foot. Goes for home. He's offline to the left-hand side. And one behind to Gary Dhurrkay and East Fremantle. They're relentless in this first part of the third quarter. I think Tony McHale's given them a big rev. They've kicked 1-1. They lead by 3 goals. And this is Luke Rayner. 15 possessions till half-time.
I'll tell you one thing that East Fremantle do have a lot of, and that's character, Trev.
And the kick into play from Rayner comes to Steve Truella. Hand passes off to Ryan Webb. They're still in the defensive 50. Webb wants to switch play. He runs across centre-half back and goes to the outer side of the ground. Looking for numbers out there. Greg Egan thumps away, but the crumbs come to Troy Willison. He's been good. The hand pass to Christian Kelly finally got to him. Kelly's little kick comes to Skender. He couldn't take it. Stockton works in hard over the top of the football. Uni in with him. And the umpires have been letting it go. That's holding the ball decision. Apparently the ball pulled back in by Marshall Stockton, who's unhappy, and Heath Uni will take the free kick for West Perth. The rookie list player from the Eagles goes down the line towards half forward. Kerr thumps away. Barrows now at full forward. There he is. And Greg Madigan with him. And the ball over the line on the outer side of the ground. There's some of the crowd enthralled by this contest. There was a buzz around the ground at half-time. And really a lot of expectancy in this game. Sanders goes high. Collica can't take it with him. A little poke through. A chance for Logan. Also Sanders in there working hard. Gets the tap away to come to Stockton. Finally Stagg picks up and got it towards half forward. Rigol high, couldn't take the mark. Rosa, his hand pass is smothered. Dhurrkay in there. They work in hard. Rigol once again got the hand pass to Logan. On the left boot, the opportunist kicks towards half forward. What a drop mark there by Callum Chambers. Not good. Stagg takes him on in the tackle. Good football. Madigan lumbers after it. Socket away by Barrows. But the East Fremantle defenders, Pobjoy, the goal kicker in this quarter. Hand pass to Melody. He's on the left boot. And East Fremantle can mount something on the outer side. They got it to Bromage, who slipped over at the inopportune time. Then can get around his opponent and drive to centre half forward. Condon all set. Couldn't take the mark. Ball to ground. Comes to Bilcich. Goal square. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Tapped back by Egan. Good football, but there's no one there for East Fremantle. Desperate football. Greg Egan. He's tied it up. But he's given a free kick away by grabbing the leg of Ryan Webb. But that was great desperation, Gary.
Oh, that's tremendous play. Watch the recovery by Greg Egan. He gives Ryan Webb 10 metres there, and then watch him dive on the footy. That's great desperation.
Well, back with the live action, West Perth have put themselves under more pressure. The kick down the corridor came unstuck. Back with Bromage now. The hand pass goes to Dhurrkay. Let's watch this kick. Oh, it cleared the initial contest. Might be a free kick to Bilcich, I think. The ball socketed him with the goal scorer. Egan has put it through. No, the umpire's going to call it back. Well, the play not being continuous, I think the umpire has deemed that the ball must come back. And 20 metres out directly in front, we'll see East Fremantle shooting a goal. But Gary, notwithstanding all of that, it still should be a certain goal to the Sharks.
Well, Stephen Bilcich is a very good finisher, and that's the free kick there. Peter Julian just deemed to have got into the back of Stephen Bilcich. Maybe
why wasn't that allowed as
maybe the advantage, in common sense, East Fremantle had the goal square tied up to themselves. But now Stephen Bilcich should make a certainty of it.
Let's watch him come in and kick it goal. The goal umpire makes a little ground to the left, but that's another goal to East Fremantle. And one feels that it's the one that West Perth didn't want them to get. It makes the margin now 4 goals. And Gary, every time that West Perth have been called upon so far today, they really have produced. But now the margin at this stage of the match, getting out to 4 goals is going to be difficult for them, isn't it?
Yes, East Fremantle answering the challenge. We know that they've got a lot of character, as I mentioned. Certainly they've got players with a lot of pride. They play for their club. There's no doubt about that. And their backs to the wall at half-time. They've come out and really put in a solid first 10 minutes or 5 minutes so far. Now West Perth have to answer the challenge.
9-5 to 5-5, won by East Fremantle. Kim Rigol going the wrong way. Picked up by Dhurrkay, feeds the hand pass out to Melody on the left boot. The lead there came from Condon. He just couldn't quite hold it. Now that East Fremantle with a chance. Spalding, a bit of aerial ping-pong. Condon was in there again. Each Fremantle player wrestled to the ground. Pobjoy has it though. They really are exerting the pressure. Condon snaps on goal. It's gone through. I think it might have. Well, it has. Damien Condon's done it again, and he's kicked his forward. Well, listen to the East Fremantle crowd erupt. And well they might, because 5 goals could almost be a match-winning break. East Fremantle 10 goals, 5. West Perth 5-5. And again, Gary, it started with the momentum that East Fremantle are getting out of the middle.
Yes, that's no doubt. They're running forward in numbers, and they just keep working there hard at the footy. Here's Pobjoy off to Condon. Watch Greg Egan here on the goal square. Great shepherding. He provided the shepherding on the goal line, and there was no doubt that that's a vital goal for East Fremantle.
Yes, Justin Sanders giving them plenty of drive from the centre of the ground. It's Pobjoy again running the ball forward, but he's dispossessed. Chris Rigold goes by hand to Callum Chambers, left centre wing. One bounce, squares the ball towards centre half forward. They set, no mark. Scott Spalding with crumbs. Bounces off his opponent. There's a committed East Fremantle team now with more composure. Back to Pobjoy, the 100-game player. The veteran playing his last game. Can he go out with a premiership medal? Boots the ball in towards the attacking 50-metre line. Chance for Heath Uni. Got the hand pass to Williams. Now to Webb. He'll be tackled quickly. Gets the hand pass quickly to Rayner, who on the left foot into the air goes Scott Spalding. He's played a superb game, Scott Spalding. Wants to make up for last year's indiscretion when he gave the 50 metres to Warren Campbell, which really put the nail in the East Fremantle coffin in last year's grand final. The kick's not so good on this occasion to Troy Wilson. He's been the dominant backman on the ground. Big Wilson boots the ball to the centre of the ground. Well, they can rattle it. Williams or Skender. Williams takes it. He should run in to kick a goal. Skender has to shepherd for him. Williams goes on the left boot, goes for home at the city end. And did Stagg get back to touch it? I don't think so. It's a major. West Perth have answered the challenge. They're 6-5-41. And East Fremantle 10-5, 65, 8.5 minutes in the third quarter.
Well, we saw Andrew Williams last week against Subiaco spark a comeback with a brilliant run through the middle of the ground. On this occasion, once again, there's Williams all by himself, found a bit of space. He lost his opponent there and gets around on his left side. And from 50 metres on the run, kicks what was a vital West Perth goal, one that had to come for them if they're to get themselves back into this contest. Well, what can they do? They need another one to answer that, West Perth. They need to put a string of goals together, something that they really haven't been able to do so far, and they need 2 or 3 goals on the run here.
The margin 4 goals in favour of the Sharks. Ball up again at centre field. Skender trying to kick the ball out of the contest, and Sanders and Kelly get a purchase on the football. The umpire once again will bounce it down. Well, last week's solo efforts like that from Williams and Mildenhall had the desired effect. Can they lift the Falcons again today? They trail by 4 goals. Skender wins the knock. Dhurrkay got a hand into it. Through goes Kim Rigold. He split the pack, created an opportunity for Kelly, who kicks long towards full forward. It's 2-on-2. In goes Brunton. Keeps his feet. Gathers the footy. Snaps on goal. Here's another one. Here's another one with the Falcons. What a great game of football. The Falcons will not be denied as Dean Brunton, with a great solo effort, has kicked his 3rd goal. 2 in the second quarter, now 1 at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter, and once again, Gary, the game's alive.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. West Perth won't lay down. Now East Fremantle throwing everything at him in the first 10 minutes. Now 2 goals on the trot. That's just what, look at Dean Brunton. He keeps the ball in front of him under fierce pressure. That's a brilliant goal, and one that really should lift his teammates. So we've really got a game boiling. If West Perth can get the next one, well, really they will throw the gauntlet down to East Fremantle here.
Well, it's 3 goals to 2 in this quarter in favour of East Fremantle. Sanders doesn't win that. Skender does, but it's tapped further afield by Melody. Come as far as Uni, Mildenhall, all dressed up and nowhere to go, as he was wrapped up in a tackle by Rhett Bowden. There's Neil Mildenhall. Wayne Rosa now with him. So umpire French bounces the ball in the middle of the ground once again. The ruckman go at it. Sanders wins the tap away. Hailing a cab there was Wayne Rosa. Umpire French will come in and bounce once again. An 18-point margin to the Sharks after they led by 11 points at half-time. 3 goals to 2 in this quarter. West Perth continue to answer the challenge. They won't be denied the Falcons. Tap away to Bromage. A hand pass to Pobjoy, who's been busy in this third quarter. Kicks towards the attacking 50. West Perth have the numbers. Williams back in defence now. Seem to relish that role. He's playing on Bilcich. Gets the ball in the left boot towards the centre wing. Rhett Bowden on the ground. Can't keep the ball in play. That's Steve Truella there, who was the player who kicked the ball forward. Not Williams. Playing against Bilcich, Steve Truella. So the ball thrown into play, left centre wing for East Fremantle. Chance there for Sanders, can't take it with him. Martin Melody picks himself up ruefully off the ground. Sanders Tries to get his opponent out of the way. Kelly is good in close. He got it to Skender, who couldn't take it with him. Chance for Bromage. Got it scrambled forward, but it all the lucky bounce to Bilcich. They're not such a good hand pass. It eludes Spalding and comes to Willison. Spalding tried to lay a tackle. Willison was too strong, but didn't kick the ball well. Got it to Justin Sanders, who dropped the chest mark, but was paid it. Well, maybe a bit of anticipation there by umpire French, because he didn't really hang on to that. Justin Sanders, he looks for Spalding again. Bowden, can he raise a gallop here? Can't do so. Callum Chambers gets the ball forward. Chance for Melody. He's tackled strongly. Goes to Bromage. How often those two players combined? A little soccer, then a tackle by Marshall Stockton. Once again, Bromage drives it forward, and this time Spalding, standing in front of Willison, has taken the mark. He's outside the 50. Egan in the goal square, making a lead. He's got Condon down there as well. So there he is, Damien Condon. So Earl Spalding is going to set this up into the goal square and hope one of his teammates can take a mark. Egan from behind, couldn't take the mark, got first hands. Crumbs done to Clucas. Was he tripped? Play on calls the umpire. He taps the ball away. West Perth will run it away. Ryan Webb does so on the outer side of the ground. Gets it to Dhurrkay. Tries to tap to himself. Gets around his opponent, Rigol. Then trying to get around Melbourne Hall. Prior opportunity there, umpire. Should have been called holding the ball. But the ball will be thrown in. 10-5 to 7-5. The Sharks 3 goals in front.
Yeah, some great physical efforts from both sides has made this a terrific grand final. Left half forward flank for each Fremantle. There's the boundary throw in. Sanders from behind works it down to Melody. He's all wrapped up in a tackle. Still the umpire calls play on. The ball goes to the ground. Melody knocks it out to Bromage, who's had some very important possessions in the clinches over the last 10 minutes. And again, the ball's worked away from him and goes over the line and out of bounds. Sections of the crowd, and gee, they've been entertained this afternoon in the 1998 Drive Safe Cup Grand Final. Ball in again. Sanders tries to take this one cleanly. Fumbles. Stagg has it. Wrestled to the ground. The whistle has gone again. And once more, we'll see the umpire ball up.
Gee, they're quick on it this quarter, Gary. They weren't before, were they? Letting it go
a bit. And I think it's better when they do let it go.
Gee, it was a great spectacle in that second quarter when the umpires had almost put the whistle in their pocket. Now a little premature with it. Ball up again. Wilson gets up very high, but he only knocks it down as far as Stagg, who's got a bit of run in his legs. Goes by left boot, but really sprays it out to the left-hand side. It's gone out of bounds on the fall. Well, West Perth are under siege at the moment. They trail 10-5 to 7-5. 3 straight goals, and it's deep in their defensive zone at the moment, so they need to weather this storm, get it to the other end and score the next goal.
Free kick. Looks like it's been a relay free kick.
Well, relay free kick. Well, that is tragic as far as the Falcons go. They had the ball in their possession. Stagg having kicked it out of bounds on the full. Clearly, if it was a relay free kick, then the interference was after his disposal. And now it's a turnover, which has resulted in the ball being in the hands of Greg Egan. Kicked 1 goal already. 20 metres out from goal. Very, very acute angle. There goes the kick. What's he done with it? I think he might have just hooked it. He has minor score only. The margin's 18 points, 10 goals, 6 the Sharks, 7-5 West Perth. Gary, that could have been a critical turnover. No excuse under these circumstances.
Well, it's just the little things like that, Phil, that can really cost you a game. And the way that the pressure is building on these players, let's see what it was. Well, there wasn't a lot in that, to be honest. I think the momentum taking him forward, but anyhow, it could have been a vital decision.
Luke Rayner to kick the ball back into play. Goes wide, looks for Ryan Webb. And Damien Condon too late to spoil. And Webb takes the mark. Hand passes back to Rayner, who after he kicked out had gone to where the ball was. That's good football. And then he uses the ball beautifully to the middle of the ground and has found Kim Rigol, who kicks the ball to the centre of the ground. Stagg will set in between 2 West Perth players. Logan gets it. Hand passes off to Mifka. The field's going to open up in front of Mifka. He can go over to Kelly. He does so now. Kelly's on the left foot, left half forward. He'll try and give it back to Mifka, who he could have done. Now he props, the former Swan Districts player. Goes for the goal square. Brunton from behind. Brunton's too strong and has pushed Kerr out, but has been allowed the mark.
I think he held his ground, Trev.
We'll have a look at that. This is interesting. He might have just nudged him there. Well, yeah, I reckon you're right, Gary. There wasn't much in that. Well, Brunton's kicked his 4th goal, and the Falcons Dragons get back to within 2 goals. It's 10-6 to 8-5, the margin, 13 points.
Well, it's a vital goal, but that was good play by Kelly. When he took possession of that ball, he didn't have a lot of options. He stopped, he propped. Watch him here. Kelly gets the ball there. He has no options. He now gets it back, creates the option, and then kicks long to the square. You watch how it advantages Brunton. The kick was travelling with the wind, and Brunton had his eyes on the ball all the time, and I think John Kerr lost his footing a little bit in the body contact, and I think the umpire made the correct decision.
Oh, definitely the correct decision. Kerr was backing back into Brunton, who really just held his ground, and at no stage did his eyes leave the ball. Our slow motion replay showed that. There's the ball up back at centre field. Sanders wins the knock. It's ineffectual. It goes to Skender. He goes to ground. Gee, it's scrambly and desperate out there as players get very tired. It could be a case of the survival of the fittest at the end here.
I've already noticed Greg Egan before went down with cramp in the third quarter, so obviously it is quite warm out there, and it's really going to be a battle of the fittest towards the end.
Skender in ruck at the moment with Sanders. Skender wins it. Dhurrkay tried to shark it. Now in goes Bromage, tried to work the ball out towards Martin Melody. Both of them hold the most and second most votes in this year's Sandover medal. Of course, Melody not qualified to win it because he had been suspended during the year, as the umpire will ball it up just at West Perth's side of the centre circle, about 5 metres in advance of it. The Falcons way kicking to the city end of the ground. Sanders wins the knock. Chance for Callum Chambers. Tapped it up there cleverly for Milton Hall, who goes by left boot very high out towards the boundary line. And Brendan Murray's the skipper. What a great effort. Well, he led his opponent there in John Kerr to the ball, then took a great sliding mark. Barrows gets on with it, goes by left boot, up towards the half-forward line. Dhurrkay nearly pulled down a great mark. The crumbs are with Spalding. Gets the hand pass off to Pobjoy, across his body, and Clucas, running into the right spot at the right time, has taken the mark ahead of Rayner. Only 3 possessions to Matthew Clucas, has been on and off the bench. Kicks the ball up toward the lead of Condon, who couldn't mark. There's some beautiful roving off the pack there by Stephen Bilcich. Stephen Bilcich, the Sharks skipper, kicks on goal. And gee, that would have been a great one, but he's missed it. A goal that's really Stephen Bilcich, I think, probably in his prime would have kicked.
Should have nailed that one. That's his bread and butter, Stephen Bilcich. Typical way that he'll rove it off the pack. And he should have nailed that one. But interesting, Madigan's gone down onto Brunton now, and John Kerr's come out to pick up Barrows at centre half forward.
So Ryan Webb has the ball at full back. Yes, one that Stephen Bilcich, he's kicked a lot of those in his time. Webb straight down the middle of the ground almost, looking there for Mifka, who got a hand up to it. Condon's there, pulled off the footy, and that's a free kick. Well, poor Mifka just got to be careful in those situations. Free kicks in a match like this are going to be critical.
Yes, there's no doubt that was a free kick. So Condon boots the ball towards full forward. Egan will be the target. He's about 3 deep. The ball thumped to the ground. Melody leads back in the race. He'll try and get around. Gives it off to Clucas. Clucas in turn goes wide to Scott Spalding, who now scrambles the ball towards full forward. A chance for Egan again. Good thump away defence by Ryan Webb. That'll favour the West Perth defenders out there. This is Logan. Couldn't pick the football up. Finally tapped it over to his teammate there in Ryan Webb, who on the left boot kicks it towards centre wing. But Justin Sanders, who was good in the first part of this quarter, has taken the relieving mark for the Sharks. He's on left centre wing, the outer side. The Sharks kicking into the breeze. Kicks towards the attacking 50. Earl Spalding goes with a 2-foot jump. The ball goes on the ground to Logan. Well, we're just about a replay of previously. He missed the first one, then got on the left boot. Kicks towards centre wing. Chance for Stockton to get back onto the football first. He'll go across the ground and set it up here. And he's been able to find, well, has he? Good work by Brendan Barrows, but a free kick to Chris Pobjoy.
That was there. Barrows didn't have eyes on the football. Yes. And Pobjoy in the best position. Watch him here. You cannot do that. That's a correct decision by the umpire.
Yes, umpire right in close there, Adam Binks, and Chris Pobjoy, the veteran, who kicked the first goal of this third quarter. 16 possessions today. His last game of West Star Rules football. He's retiring, win, lose or draw after this game. Thumped away in defence. Chance for Uni on the ground. Scrambled forward by Melody. Bilcich can run onto it. He'll have support from Egan. Got the hand pass to him. Quick kick. Bilcich over the shoulder. Well, he missed the easy one running in, and then he snapped it over his shoulder for a terrific goal. His third. The Sharks are 11-7-73, and the Falcons are 8-5-53. The margin 20 points.
Well, I was just feeling the next goal in the contest was very, very important. If West Perth had got it, it would have really lifted the spirits of them. Now East Fremantle threw a freak goal by Stephen Bilcich. As I mentioned earlier, he's the type of player that can really pop up. Good work by Egan to keep the ball alive. Bilcich knew he was going to be tackled, had to get it on quickly, and that's just a goal sense that really is very hard to teach. Lots of hours of practice down the park as a youngster, no doubt, for Stephen Bilcich.
Yes, second goal to Stephen Bilcich. Play recommenced at centre field. Bromage has the run of the footy. Going with him is Chris Rigol. Chris Rigol goes to the ground. Bromage keeps his feet. He's rewarded with a possession. A tumbling kick with the left boot ends up with Mifka. A hand pass over the top to Logan. He's just had a bit of a fit of the fumbles, but he's played a great game. Now he has it and kicks it long towards the members' wing. Stagg and Callum Chambers doing battle. It's a battle royale too. Stagg knocks the ball cleverly on to Pobjoy. A well-weighted kick from Pobjoy finds its mark. Going to one knee was Condon. Lays it off to Collica. Hand pass now to Clucas. Clucas undecided about which way to go. Wheels around into his right, but don't tell me he's kicked it, he has. Well, East Fremantle can do no wrong as Matthew Clucas gets into the goal-scoring act. And you can see the appreciation of the Sharks supporters. It was a beautifully controlled passage of football by the Sharks, Gary.
Yes, I thought they had just overused it here. I thought Condon onto Collica, and I thought then just overused the ball in this situation and put Clucas under a bit of pressure, but he had presence of mind to get back on his right side. A lot of players get inside that 50 and work onto their left side. Clucas, well, a very good right footer. He finishes also pretty well on his left foot, but got onto his preferred side, which is also always very important, and that was a vital kick. West Perth must get the next goal.
Well, the margin out to 26 points, and Matthew Clucas has got fantastic kicking skills, as we saw there, as the ball comes to a standstill at the middle of the ground. Scott Spalding there, giving it back to the umpire.
Yes, just forward of the centre circle. 12-7 to 8-5. As we welcome our Perth viewers to the 1998 Drive Safe Cup Grand Final, with the Sharks leading 12-7 to 8-5 as the ball's back at centre field. Bounce, awkward bounce there. A couple of East Fremantle players swat it as far as Mifka. The hand pass was meant for Rayner. Hasn't made too many mistakes today, but he fumbles on this occasion. Rosa, a hurry kick out to Dhurrkay. Dhurrkay over his head. Great play by Kirey, who hand passes on the run to Bilcich, who's kicked his third. Well, what a remarkable effort by East Fremantle. They really have split the game right in two in this third quarter. Stephen Bilcich has kicked his third goal, and they have all come in this term. Terrific passage of football once again. The East Fremantle supporters on their feet, and our Perth viewers have really crossed at probably the critical time of this game, Gary.
Well, the game has been in the balance, particularly after half-time, and East Fremantle came out really firing. West Perth answered the challenge, kicked a couple of goals on the run, but now East Fremantle for answering that challenge again. Stephen Bilcich really leading the way, as the captain, has really led the way for East Fremantle. He's been terrific in this quarter.
Right, the kick over the head by Gary Dhurrkay. What a freak. Clinton Kirey able to run onto it. It comes to Justin Sanders. The Sharks won't be denied now. They're on their way to the 29th Premiership one census. They get it to the centre half forward. Matt Clucas' hand pass goes to Mifka though. It goes astray. Mifka hand passes wide to Logan, who's on the left boot. Kicks towards left centre wing. And is that a kick down the ground? I think so.
It was a mark anyway.
And Christian Kelly has got it for West Perth. Left centre wing, goes short and gets it to Bryce Steele. Hasn't had a lot of ground time. Steele kicks the ball down the line on the left boot. Brunton tries to take the mark against Egan. I don't think he's marked it. The second grab was over the line, I think, and the ball will have to be thrown into play. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He completed the mark over the line, so the ball to be thrown into play. Greg Madigan certainly made sure the umpire knew about it. So the Falcons in attack, left half forward. Chance for Sanders there. Might have got a free kick. It comes to Bromage. Still working hard, as is the captain Barrows for West Perth. They tap it further afield. There's Stephen Bilcich, the East Fremantle captain, a star of the quarter with 3 goals. Has really set the Sharks alight. Rhett Bowden on the bench for the Sharks, struggling with a leg injury, coming in after 5 weeks out today. Ronnie Skender, what an enormous job he's done for West Perth in the finals. And if they're to win this game, they'd just about need to erect a monument to Ronnie Skender at Joondalup. There's a free kick picked out of this lot. And
too high on Rosa.
Yes, Rosa receives the high tackle. Just 8 possessions for Rosa today. Hurt a knee and went off the ground in the first quarter. And will probably kick short here. He can go to Kerr, as he does. And Kerr right half back. Moves towards right centre wing. Kicks down the line. Condon will set. from behind, thumped away by Mifka. Crumbs to Stockton, tries to hand pass on to Condon. He tried to get it to Clucas. They work in hard. Webb gets it back to Rayner, who was tackled high. Luke Rayner by Matthew Clucas. And Luke Rayner, been a star for the Falcons today.
Just not getting the ball on quickly enough. There's not enough options presenting himself into the space for Rayner. When you look down the ground, they're pretty well all covered by East Fremantle.
So his 18th possession, Luke Rayner comes towards left half forward to Madigan. Dropped the sitter really, but then has plenty of time. Maybe the run of West Perth is finished. They didn't put pressure on then. The Madigan kick high. Clucas hand pass off to Stagg, who went without it. But the ball's forced further afield and will be thrown into play. It's 13-7-85 East Fremantle. And West Perth are 8-5-53. The margin 32 points, dying stages of the third quarter.
Is the boundary thrown to take place between the right centre wing and right half forward for East Fremantle. 27, nearly 28 minutes gone in this term. It's been a great one for the Sharks. May have set up their premiership for 1998. Torella had it. The hand pass went out to Logan, close to the boundary line. He takes a bounce. Now he tries to take on Justin Sanders, and you can't do that. Free kick to Sanders. What a great tackle. He is one of the real workhorses of the West Star Royals, is Justin Sanders. And he ran down Brendan Logan then in a terrific tackle. Logan just trying to do too much. He's already done a terrific amount, having kicked 3 goals for West Perth. There's the free kick from Sanders, going to centre half forward. Skender drops back and takes the mark. As Travis Briggs said, what a great game he's played. What a fantastic final series he's played. Lays the hand pass off to Rayner, goes out wide looking for Kim Rigol. Rigol just can't quite pick it up. Now he does. Goes by right boot, down the boundary line, but that's a tired kick. Really, fatigue is setting in now on the Falcons as Rigol's kicking. He doesn't make many mistakes. Goes over the line and out of bounds on the full. So the free kick is with Adrian Bromage, the Sandover medalist for this year. And East Fremantle looks set to achieve the double. Sandover medalist and the premiership as Bromage goes in short to Wayne Rosa. Another great player for the Sharks this year. Short pass to Stagg in the centre corridor. Stagg goes straight down the middle of the ground, looking there for maybe finding Egan. No, the crumbs are with Gary Dhurrkay. Dhurrkay said his kicks on goal, was just pushed off his kick, and it goes into the pocket. Mifka's there. Steadying little pass from Mifka, picked up on the half volley by Willison. Now Troy Wilson's got great speed, been a good defender for West Perth today. Sends the ball out towards the outer side of the ground at right half back. Julian takes the chest mark, chips it. Look at the replay, Gary.
Yes, well, out of the centre, so vital. There's a tackle. Wayne Rosa, doesn't he do that so often? Just put pressure on the opposition, turn the ball over, and when Chris Pobjoy, as we mentioned, he's played a great game also. Get the ball quickly, get to your forwards, one out. Greg Egan with a bit of a height advantage. Well, he took advantage of that and took a great mark in the end, but certainly one would feel that West Perth needed that first goal and needed a couple really on the trot to pressure East Fremantle.
Well, the margin's 44 points now. The Sharks won't let up. They go for it in the middle of the ground again. It's tunnel balled out. Dhurrkay with a quick possession. Taps it there to Kirey, who gets it forward to centre half forward. It's thumped away in defence. Chris Pobjoy playing the game of his life in the grand final. Chance there for Corey Johnson to back out. Can't do so. The captain, Barrows, goes wide with a hand pass to find the veteran Paul Mifka on the left centre wing. Boots towards half forward. Troy Wilson's up in the forward line now for West Perth. They'll try and get it up to him. Chance on this occasion for Logan going in over the top. The hand pass, though, comes from Kerr to Stockton, one of those unsung heroes for the Sharks. Puts the ball towards half forward. Kirey sets, can't mark. Crumbs to Melody, goes for home towards the city end goals, but can't keep the ball, or can't bring it round far enough. And one behind. Rhett Bowden was the player, I think, that perhaps kicked
Rhett Bowden
back on the ground. And isn't it ironic that Greg Egan, in fact, was cleared from Claremont to Perth, Gary, and has ended up at East Fremantle. And what a part he's played in this, well, it looks like a premiership now.
Yes, he's certainly been a very good pickup. No doubt, we mentioned at three-quarter time, he really is a flexible player that can just about play anywhere on the ground, and he's proving that today.
So the kick back into play from Rayner comes to Mifka on the defensive 50, squares the ball, puts the ball wide on the outer side of the ground. Mark taken by Johnson, who plays on quickly towards half forward. Thumped away, disciplined football by Marshall Stockton as he punched it away from Andrew Williams and got the ball over the line. There's Andrew Williams, destined for a terrific career with the West Coast Eagles. A youngster playing his first season. Going to be a great player, no doubt. So the ball thrown back into play. The thump goes to Skender. Chance for Rigol. That's Chris and Martin Melody. The ball is over the line. A 45-point margin to the Sharks. And there's no celebrating yet. They've been robbed of one last year, the Sharks, so they'll keep the foot down the whole way here. Justin Sanders gets the tap away to Bryce Steele of West Perth, who got the ball in the left boot, kicks towards left half forward. John Stagg. That's disciplined football as well. Got the fist in and thumped the ball over the line. Interested spectator.
You just feel these Fremantle aren't going to let this slip from here. They look a lot of steel about them at the moment.
Doing the difficult, the hard things in football. The hand pass, well, it came back from Williams to Sanders, who got the ball forward towards centre wing. Bilcich runs onto it, then had to soccer it forward, but only as far as Rayner, who got the hand pass to Barrows, who was pushed in the back. And the skipper hand passes off quickly so that they can get the ball moving. O'Brien boots towards the centre, towards half forward. Skender wasn't paid the mark. Sanders runs away with the football. Pretty tough on the West Perth ruckman, one would suggest. Kirey leads in the race, but now Rayner closes him out, but falls to ground. A tired Luke Rayner taking a long time to get up as the ball is over the line in front of Kim Rigol to be thrown back into play. The Sharks are 15-8, the Falcons are 8-5, and we're coming up to 5 minutes in the last quarter with the Sharks in control.
Yes, and the umpires seem to have deserted them now. If that one of Egan's was a mark in the goal square at the other end of the ground, you would think that Skender's was. It was a great effort. There's the boundary thrown, comes down to Logan. Logan shovels it into the path of Chris Rigol, but he can't control it before it goes over the line and out of bounds. So just 5 minutes gone in this final quarter. Already the lead is 45 points in favour of the Sharks. 15 goals 8 to 8 goals 5. Boundary throw in members' side of the ground. Rigol doing some ruck work. Logan tries to put a fist into it. Now Logan goes in after it. The hand pass into open spaces. Here's a chance now. One feels for Bryce Steele. Steele couldn't control it. Pushed off the footy. Bromage. I wonder if he can complete a double. The Sandover medal and the Simpson medal. His hand pass goes to Sanders. Another one off to Clucas. Low trajectory pass. Wasn't marked by Kirey, but Fremantle have still got control of it. Earl Spalding with a high kick up towards centre half forward, but going back with courage, which is one of his trademarks, is the dual Breckler medal winner in Stephen Truella. Short pass to the defensive 50, doesn't quite carry the Mifka. They're under all sorts of pressure. Truella's got to go back on it, dives at the football and knocks it into the path of Luke Rayner. Another chance for the Simpson medal after an outstanding display this afternoon. That's a better pass as it finds Chris Rigol. On the right half-back flank, he takes a bounce, and a second, nearly up on the members' wing, as he lets go with the kick to the half-forward flank. It's a one-on-one. Brunton was interfered with, and certainly Dean Brunton can hold his head high. 4 goals is a great effort. After a terrific season at centre-half forward for the Falcons, he earned that free kick. Again, these passes are starting to fall a bit short of their mark. Stagg dropped it. Christian Kelly grubbers it towards the goal square. Chance for Logan to kick his fourth, and he's done that. Socketed it through, running into an open goal, and Brendan Logan has his fourth. Falcon supporters still waving the flags. They won't concede that it's the game is lost. And they came from behind last week, Gary, but they're certainly given Fremantle too much of a start today.
Well, one feels so, but they needed this goal. There's no doubt about that. John Stagg showed courage there to stand in the way. Chris Pobjoy just needed to keep the ball in front of him there, and the ball snuck through, and Brendan Logan running onto the contest did the right thing, socketed the ball off the ground, and, well, that's a vital goal, one that they really did need.
Well, the Falcons have had 3 goal scorers only, and Fremantle have had 9. That perhaps tells you something about the forward options here. Skender tries to take it away. Dhurrkay pulled the socket kick, so that allowed the hand pass to come to West Perth, who got the ball forward there through the boot of Steele, got up towards half forward, but then it's punched away. Chance for Chris Rigol. He was dispossessed, tapped out of his hands. They work in hard. Now it finally goes to Logan once again. The previous goal kicker spears a pass into Willison. It's too low for that player. Condon goes back with him. They've manned up on each other at the other end of the ground in opposite roles, but now it's Condon in the back line and Willison in the forward line as Pobjoy sees the ball over the line and out of bounds. The veteran hands the ball back to the boundary umpire. There's some anxious Fremantle supporters. They dare not claim it yet after last season when it was just about in their grasp, but then taken away by the Bulldogs. Tap away. Logan still working hard, persevering. Collica looks tired. Williams tries to get it clear, and finally jars free to Pobjoy. Fremantle have got the numbers. Kicks the ball towards the centre wing. Chance for Rayner well up the ground. Controls the ball well, and now he'll use it well too across the middle of the ground. And he's found his teammate there. This is Neil Mildenhall. He kicked a great goal last week. Can he do it again? He's on 50. He hasn't pulled that back enough. He was battling to score. Tucked away in defence by the East Fremantle players. Brunton couldn't mark, but he kept the ball in play very well. Then goes for a bounce. Then get on the left boot. Scott Spalding put pressure on. Troy Willison flies high. And I tell you what, there's a behind, Phil, but this West Perth team won't give in. You've got to admire their spirit. They're 9-6-60. And East Fremantle are 15-8-98.
Yes, there was the pack collapsing under its own weight right on the goal line. Interested spectators still riveted. Really, this game has had so much to entertain the crowd here this afternoon. Certainly the Sharks well and truly in control now as Condon, who's kicked goals this afternoon, now kicking in. Goes towards left half back. Mildenhall may have been held. The umpire says play on. Rosa with the run of the football. Chips it into the path of Melody, who soccers it out of mid-air. Up towards where Earl Spalding is. Going with him is Barrows. Pushing Egan off to the footy there was Barrows. It was a good hip and shoulder. Now the ball's trapped under play as it squirts out. Chance there for Bowden. Hand pass to Martin Melody. And Melody just can't bring it back enough and kicks it behind.
It was a clever handball by Rhett Bowden, who's had his problems today. But quick hands, first option. That was very good by Bowden on that occasion. That was a golden opportunity for Martin Melody to put what through could have been really the nail in the coffin for West Perth. Just a glimmer of hope, but certainly one feels East Fremantle are controlling the situation at the moment. But who knows, if West Perth could get a run on, 2 or 3 quick goals, then anything could happen.
39 points the margin. Martin Melody tied. One feels that a little fresher and he would have just lined those up and drilled it through. As Rayner, the designated kicker for West Perth today, brings it back into play. Egan from his knees, but the hand pass missed it mark. Corey Johnson fires it out to Logan, another Simpson medal prospect, as he goes with a long low kick up towards the half-forward flank. Thumped away by the combatants up there, and it goes over the line and out of bounds at left half-forward.
So we'll just expect East Fremantle to want to play the boundary lines at the moment. They'll just keep trying to keep the ball along that area, try and really close things down for West Perth now.
Skender and Sanders. Skender again. What a marvellous game he's played. Knocks it down sharp though by Pobjoy. Dispossessed. Williams, a clever little hand pass out to Logan. He won't be denied. From left half forward flank, goes to full forward. Wilson puts a fist into it. Could be a force behind it is. Brunton running at it, almost on a collision course with the goalpost, and another force behind narrows the margin now to 38 points.
Well, it's last roll of the dice for West Perth. There's no doubt about that, and their players are just playing as though it is. They're really trying hard. There's no doubt about that.
As East Fremantle worked the ball out of defence, the hand pass came from Rosa to Stagg. He's lifted his rating since quarter time, John Stagg, to figure an East Fremantle's best players. Skender couldn't take the mark. Chance in there for Johnson on hands and knees on top of the football, and a couple of tired players there. There's Steve Truella picking himself up, and Stephen Bilcich, the East Fremantle captain, as Truella has had an interrupted season with injury. Great little competitor for East Fremantle, for West Perth, brought into the team today by John Dimmer. And why wouldn't you in grand finals? You need players like Steve Truella. Collica takes it away for East Fremantle. He's a talent. Boots the ball towards centre half forward. O'Brien gets back with Kirey. Can't take the marks. Darren O'Brien taps away to his own advantage, but it comes to Earl Spalding, who drops it on the right boot and is offline to the right-hand side for East Fremantle. And Earl Spalding hasn't kicked a goal today for East Fremantle, so not one of the Big Duke's best games, but has nevertheless contributed. So a 39-point margin to East Fremantle now. Webb kicks the ball back into play to the outer side, finds Truella, who plays on quickly, kicks to centre wing, and Rayner, who can play on. It's fairly good open spaces up the ground now. It comes to Johnson in the middle of the ground. Rosa closes him down with a desperate tackle, jars the ball free to Kerr, then to Stagg, and East Fremantle can rebound the football. It comes to Clucas on left centre wing. Adrian Bromage working forward as well. Clucas goes towards centre half forward. The mark taken by Paul Mifka. Terrific tackles by East Fremantle. Rosa and Sanders will remember those tackles for a long time. And the mark taken by Rayner. Chip kicks the ball to Chris Rigol. They're going to try and work the ball forward now, the Falcons. They come wide to Darren O'Brien. He's on right centre wing. The boy from Collica gets on the left boot, kicks towards centre half forward, crumbs to Rosa, hand pass back to Scott Spalding, who'll steady himself and kick to Bromage on centre wing.
So Adrian Bromage still knocking up, getting kicks as he has done all year, sends the ball infield and finds Matthew Clucas.
25 possessions, Adrian Bromage.
What a great effort in the grand final, following on from his Sandover medal win on Monday night. Clucas takes on Morel, beats him, kicks now long towards full forward. Pack forms, crumbs it with Spalding. He hasn't scored today off his own boot. That was just a little toe poke, but it ends up with Gary Dhurrkay, and Gary Dhurrkay runs into an open goal and kicks the ball almost out of the ground. First goal to Gary Dhurrkay, but it comes at the 14-minute mark of this final quarter, when really things are all over in the 1998 grand final. There he is on screen, shouting instructions. Match-winning lead as we see it in replay, Gary.
Yes, he stole this one. Really, just ball landed with him, and all West Perth players going forward, and really that's the nail in the coffin. The Sharks, it's been a great year. They've certainly deserved everything that comes to them. There's no doubt about that, but that's their 10th goal scorer today, East Fremantle. So they've shared the ball around. They've been very even. They've had their backs against the wall at certain stages of this game, and they've showed true character, and it's been a fighting effort for them. But West Perth, really, they haven't given up the gauntlet either. They've really tried hard today.
Ron Skender still winning ruck knocks down towards Truella, who's lowermost on that pack. As the umpire blows his whistle, he'll ball it up again between the centre of the ground and the southern wing.
Well, if there's an award for the player of the finals, Ron Skender would have to win it, Phil.
Well, he's going to go very close to winning the Simpson medal, Trevor, one would think. You know, Skender, Logan, Rayner, great players for the Falcons. There's a great knock by Sanders. Chance for Clucas. Going to the ground, Rayner gets another hand pass out to Milton Hall by left boot. This one goes very, very high. Pobjoy and Johnson run at it. Neither can take possession. The crumbs, though, are with Stephen Truella, who bounces. Lines up from centre half forward. Kicks up towards full forward. No mark taken on that occasion. Condon bursts away. Gives it out towards Scott Spalding. He's another chance. He's been outstanding this afternoon. The clearing kick comes out towards the wing position. Here's Bromage. Look at him go. He can't collect this one. Almost out on his feet as he sees the ball over the line ahead of himself and Bryce Steele. And once again, the ball will be thrown into play on the members' wing. Yeah, I was going to say 16 kicks.
And 9 hand passes, 25 possessions. In the crowd today, Phil, 23,258 people here at the 1998 West Star Rules Grand Final. They're going to see East Fremantle win their 29th premiership as they work the ball forward once again. Luke Rayner desperate. He's a very tired player now, as you see him pick himself up on the ground. But really, West Perth can hold their head up high. The way they've contested this game. Here's Matthew Clucas with Luke Rayner. The ball thrown into play again, and Skender and Sanders have been at it since half-time. The two big walruses really keep going. East Fremantle try and barge the ball forward. Clucas takes the hand pass. No man's land, basically, as Mifka will work it out for West Perth. The hand pass comes to Rayner in the middle of the ground. He boots towards centre half forward. Pobjoy sets high, couldn't take the mark. Socket off the ground by Williams of West Perth. Got it into the left full forward pocket. Stockton will get back. One of those disciplined professional players for East Fremantle is Marshall Stockton, and he saw the ball safely over the line. Just knows what's happening around him as Marshall Stockton. Just 11 possessions today, but in a run with roll, as one of those players that's really done his job. The tap away came from Morel now, working on the ball for West Perth. He works in once again as well. There probably could have been a push in the back there as Stephen Bilcich was over the top of Morel, but the umpire's going to come in and bounce. Just winding down now the 1998 grand final. The Sharks by 45 points. The 4-1 on favourites are going to prevail, but they look very jittery at half-time. Milton Hall takes it for the Falcons. Bangs towards the goal square. Thumped away from behind by John Kerr, and he finds the safety of the boundary line in the right fullback, or the left fullback pocket.
Yes, it has been a good effort today, Trev, as you mentioned. They did look shaky. I thought they were in trouble at half-time, but to their credit, they've come back out and really played a tremendous third quarter.
Well, Williams dropped the ball on the boot from the boundary throw in and has put it through for a goal. Andrew Williams is a talent, as we've mentioned. That's his second, but only 3 goal scorers to West Perth today. It's 16-10 to 10-7 coming up to 18 minutes.
Yes, look at this from the boundary throw, and gets himself into the right position at the front of the pack there. Didn't have a lot of time. He was under pressure. Good goal sense. Quick snap onto the boot, and found truly. And really, it's important for West Perth to keep fighting, to keep finishing on. because they want to make this score a lot closer at the end of the day.
The margin back to 39 points, 16-10 to 10-7 as the umpire has it back at centre field. Bounces it down, favours Sanders, but over the top, Skender still got some spring in his legs. Bowden sharks it. The hurried kick doesn't quite clear the centre square. Now Clucas takes it over. Spalding sockers it into space. Going through, in fact, overrunning it there is Webb. Oh, Spalding, great hand pass to Egan. And Egan, has he kicked another one? I think he has. He has. Greg Egan got the hand pass from Spalding. And what's he kicked? 3. 3 goals to Greg Egan this afternoon. 2 of them coming in this final quarter. And what a match he's had. Performed superbly in the ruck. He's been very busy down forward as well, Gary.
Yeah, set up there. Watch Earl Spalding. A couple of efforts here. Kicks the ball on and then quick hands. That's great play by Earl Spalding to give to open it right up for Greg Egan, who was able to run in. And Clint Kirey very happy with that result, and as these Fremantle players are. And well, it's been a tremendous performance by them.
Skender again still jumping into Sanders. Went a little bit early. Sanders tries to get a hand pass out. The umpire letting the tired players play on. But there are half a dozen of them on the ground around the football, all very, very tired. The fire's gone out of this game as we speak, but gee, there's been some fire in this 1998 Drive Save Cup Grand Final. It really has been a heated affair all day. Played in great spirit, but plenty of fire from both sides. Ball up, thumped forward by Clucas. They overrun it except for Rayner. Chips a hand pass out sideways. Bryce Steele will run onto the footy and get onto his left boot. Drills a pass out towards the half-forward flank, but Corey Johnson couldn't get there. The ball clearing his head and going over the line and out of bounds once again.
Rhett Bowden can't change direction at all, Gary.
No.
I think he might have put it over a few people to play today.
But it worked in his favour, Trevor. He's going to wear the premiership medal in probably a little bit more than 15 minutes from now as the ball's thrown back into play. Sanders wins the knock. Kelly's there, been a good player. Feeds the hand pass out to Steele. Likewise from Steele to Rayner. The floating kick goes up towards Brunton, who dives. And another great effort by Dean Brunton. Could kick his 5th goal. And Gary Buckenara, one thinks this would be just desserts for a player who's really put his whole heart into this game today.
Well, certainly he's been a great player this year for West Perth as Rhett Bowden does come off the ground. And interesting enough, they're putting another injured player in Lee Willison, who's torn a quad muscle. So I'm sure he won't be trying to kick too much on his left foot. But yes, Dean Brunton has been a great player, and let's hope he kicks the goal.
All eyes on him as he kicks and starts it out to the right-hand side, but brings it back beautifully. So a 5-goal haul to Dean Brunton is a terrific effort from that player who's battled manfully up forward all day. Done it the hard way, but finished with 5.
Yes, well, an interesting player, Dean Brunton. He had a bit of a spell from the game 1994 where he came back. He actually started pre-season with Subiaco, and well, we were pretty Subiaco at that stage. We were pretty keen on getting him to play for us, but he was talked to go back to West Perth, and I'm sure West Perth very happy with that, because since then he's been a very important player for them, and well, he's capped it off here. Although being a losing grand final, 5 goals is a terrific effort.
Ron Skender tries to win the tuck again, but it goes East Fremantle's way. Kirey gets the hand pass to Clucas. Now, he's a good kick, Matthew Clucas. He decides to hand pass off to Earl Spalding, who's taken down in a tackle. And, well, it's too high, the tackle, is it? And, well, against Neil Mildenhall. And Earl Spalding is going to get the free. Well, let's have a look at that. Well, I don't know where that was too high.
What was that for?
I think it may have been a relay free kick from young Clucas, who, after he handballed it, got cleaned up. So
Earl Spalding for his first goal for East Fremantle. Wonder whether he'll play next season. This could be his swan song as well. The Big Duke, premiership player at Carlton, now a premiership player at East Fremantle, and now he's got his name on the score sheet as well. 18-10, 118 the Sharks, and the Falcons 11-7, 73.
Yes, they're certainly sharing him around, and Earl Spalding, what a marvellous player he's certainly been. One wonders whether he will play again, as we might see this in action there. There's the handball, yes, you can see him just out of camera there. The West Perth player overcommitted himself, and the relay free kick was paid to Earl Spalding. Not probably an outstanding day for Earl, but he has been a contributor, no doubt. And, well, another premiership medallion for Earl will certainly go into the cabinet as a memorabilia that he'll certainly remember for a long time.
Well, umpire Adam Binks puts the ball down in the middle of the ground again. Sanders wins another knock. Rosa works in hard. Bryce goes off the ground with a soccer kick. Clucas from hands and knees. And East Fremantle have got players outside this pack. This is Bilcich, the captain. Puts it in the attacking 50. Dhurrkay is well behind his opponent, Kim Rigol. So West Perth work the ball to Darren O'Brien at centre-half back. He's a precision kick normally, Darren O'Brien. Now, Christian Kelly probably pulled his opponent down, but Collica comes away with the ball for East Fremantle. And one of the stars of the day, Greg Egan, is marked at half forward. Greg Egan will go short. That's not a good kick. And Darren O'Brien has taken the mark for the Falcons. Been beaten by Chris Pobjoy today. Just 10 possessions to Darren O'Brien when he was a star in the preliminary final last week. He goes short to Steve Truella, who kicks the ball towards centre wing. They set, no mark, Stagg. Reads crumbs beautifully, does John Stagg, at the back of the pack and steadies himself and tries to kick to a 2-on-1 situation. But it's a tired Greg Egan, opposed there by Steve Truella, and the ball beats both players over the line. As Egan runs back, there's the West Perth bench. Peter Julian, Digby Morrell there, and Callum Chambers, I think. The ball back into play and thumped back. So as the clock winds down on the 1998 grand final, the Sharks will prevail. We've played 24.5 minutes and they lead by 45 points.
Some great performances by the big men this afternoon. Skender, Egan and also Sanders have played their part in this grand final as Clucas tries to spin out of trouble, was taken high in the process. And Matthew Clucas, who's got better as the game has gone on, will take his free kick between the southern wing and right half forward for East Fremantle. Well and truly too far out to score, so he'll go long and set it up for some of the big tall timber down in front of goals. There it goes, looking for Spalding, too long for him. Chance for Dhurrkay again. Oh, he's magical in front of goals. Trapped it beautifully, then steady, didn't panic and just drives it through for another goal to East Fremantle. Well, he's a past master at that. 2 goals to Gary Dhurrkay this afternoon, and they both come in the final quarter. Gary, and you mentioned as we watched the replay here, West Perth haven't had too many goal scorers, only 3, 11 to East Fremantle.
That's no doubt. Look at those skills, Gary Dhurrkay. Just knew where he wanted to be all the time. Found his right foot, but in the end, to add insult to the West Perth players, he did a check side kick on the goal line. Really a brilliant play by Gary Dhurrkay. Just a real goal sense there, that he knew what was around him and just put his magical skills on display. He's a great player to watch, Gary Dhurrkay, in full flight.
There's Ron Skender, hands on hips. He would be feeling the pinch, but you wouldn't know it. His effort has been terrific, to say the least. 26 minutes gone in the final quarter of the 1998 season. Taken there by Sanders, tries to work his way through the pack. Somehow it comes off his knee, lands with Stagg, almost run down by Logan, who will never say die. It dribbles into the arms there of Mifka. Talk about players who may be playing their last game. Mifka handballs it off towards Ryan Webb, a couple of bounces. Webb floats it up towards centre wing, perhaps meant for Kelly, but he was never really a prospect of getting that one, and it's taken to the line and over, and a free kick. Oh, come on, umpire.
Well, it bounced off his boot, I think, Phil.
I was going to say. So, Chris Pobjoy, well, this may be his last kick in league football. He's had 13 of them today in a 20-possession effort in this grand final. Goes long to the half-forward line. Spalding paid the mark at left half-forward. Strength in the packs. He hasn't had a great influence on this game, as Gary Buckenara said. There he is in the pack. Strong mark as he kicks it towards full forward. Comes off hand. Stephen Bilcich lurking there. Very, very high. Bilcich goes into the pocket. Egan lurking. They're doing as they like. Making a mockery as Egan hand passes the ball over the top to Lee Willison, who from the goal line becomes East Fremantle's 12th goal scorer. And in a way, Gary, this is a bit unfair, isn't it? Because West Perth have been far better in today's grand final than that scoreline shows.
Well, I suppose it just hats off to East Fremantle, because they've really ground away and they've done it the hard way. They've certainly got a victory, but it is a little bit unfair because West Perth's effort, particularly in the first half, in the second quarter, was sensational. They really took it up to East Fremantle. And there's Lee Willison. He injured himself early in the first quarter, tore a quad muscle in his left leg, and you'll notice that he kicked that one through with his right. So, well, that's the way. I think he want one over the top into the goal square.
Yes, I don't think he could use his lift. His left is so sore, but he wants to be on the ground to celebrate with his teammates. And who could blame him? It's 13 goals, 6 to 5 goals, 5. Or 6 goals, 5 since half-time. That's the mark of East Fremantle's dominance. There's Neil Mildenhall, who has made a courageous comeback to fight his way back into the Falcons team this year. One would consider that he'd probably go on a bit longer. Justin Sanders thumped away by Kirey to try and get it going East Fremantle's way. And Luke Rayner, what a recruit he's been for West Perth this year. He's just about been their best player today as well. State back pocket player. He mucked around with it there a bit, then goes back across the ground, trying to find a path in. The crumbs come to Neil Mildenhall, who kicks the ball on the right boot, the drop punt to full forward. The crumbs now fall to Collica. He'll run the ball out. Well, he went back and just took the soft option, probably Michael Collica, and kicked it through for a behind. I suppose that's a percentage thing, Gary.
Well, when you've got the lead they have at this time of the game, I suppose you can do that.
So it's 130 to 74. So Matthew Clucas waits under that, and Luke Rayner just about too tired to get to him. 16 possessions to Matthew Clucas after this one. He chip kicks and kicks the ball short to Martin Melody, who's had a busy day as well. A prolific kick getter in the middle of the ground. 24 possessions. Across the ground goes Melody and has found Scott Spalding. Well, these players now they're running the clock down. This is the 20th possession for Scott Spalding. He's at right half back. He's going to kick the ball back to Condon. So this is the East Fremantle of old. They say legend has it they hit the front for the first time in a game. Well, now there's a blood rule, I think. And as Damien Condon has to come off for blood. So he's going to come straight off the ground, I think, and Rhett Bowden will have to come back on for East Fremantle. So it's a bit of anticlimactic now. Gary, who's your tip for the Simpson medal?
Well, very hard. I think it has to go to an East Fremantle player.
And that's a terrific applause for Damien Condon.
East Fremantle been very even all over the board. Well,
John Stagg, the bloke that kicked that, there's a bit of a chance.
Egan would have to be a chance.
Bryce Steele marks for the Falcons. They boot the ball back. Spalding will float from behind. Didn't even attempt to spoil. So the mark's taken by Morrell. Digby Morrell, a youngster who would be hoping to be drafted. So all the sting out of the game now.
Yeah, well, I probably think Luke Rayner's been best on the ground. I think his performance has been outstanding, Luke Rayner, but usually in this situation we'll go to a member of the winning team.
Yep.
And Bromage has got a lot of the footy himself. Melody's been quite good.
So Bowden comes off, and Bowden comes off, Condon back on, because he wants to finish on the ground. And why wouldn't you? In a winning grand final team, Digby Morrell kicks on goal and has missed. Well, things haven't gone right for the Falcons at the end. And he's offline. So it's 20-10 to 11-9. 55-point margin. Unfair to West Perth, no doubt. John Kerr kicks the ball back into play. Earl Spalding will be the target. He'll stand tall. Crumbs come to Brendan Logan, one of the very best on the ground for the Falcons. Drives towards full forward. Thump away by Pobjoy. Ball comes to the ground. Mildenhall can't take it. Corey Johnson hasn't had a lot of ground time. Now he gets the ball on the right boot and kicks a terrific snap goal. Well done to Corey Johnson, and the Falcons continue to fight it out. 20-10, 130 to 12-9, 81. We're coming up to 32 minutes, Gary.
Yes, it shouldn't be much longer to go in this particular game, but a good snap there. Brendan Logan, who's been a terrific player for West Perth today. Good contest by Brunton. The ball comes out to Johnson, and quite a clever snap on the ball. East Fremantle saying they touched the ball. Might have gone close also, I think, to touching it, the way the ball span in the air. But certainly Corey Johnson, well, that was a good goal for him. It's been paid, and, well, no one would begrudge West Perth some late goals.
Ball up back at centre field, won by Sanders. Plenty of cloud cover over Subiaco Oval as the sun sets on the 1998 season. Steele kicks the ball out towards the wing. Johnson's there, the goal scorer, run down, socket clear by Stockton. Playing the percentages still. Only a minute perhaps to go in the grand final, and still Marshall Stockton playing the percentages. Gets support there from Stagg. Played it well, still plenty in his legs, and a beautiful pass down the boundary line, and it has been marked by Damien Condon.
I think we could watch for Tony McCullough to come down in a minute, Phil.
He won't be far away, I'm sure, wanting to share in this moment with his players. After the disappointment of last year, Condon's kick goes towards centre half forward, comes off hands. Kim Rigol picks it up, had a great season. Short pass to Paul Mifka. His kick's mothered there by Stagg. Still doing the hard things. Mifka soccers the ball into Stockton. In fact, it's Pobjoy. He gets another kick, one of the last of the grand final. Goes back up towards centre-half forward with it, and Ryan Webb has taken the mark in defence. Hand pass goes towards Steve Trewella. Clears the defensive 50 and then spots a pass out there to Bryce Steele. Steele with a long hand pass over to Mifka, playing out time now. Mifka onto the left boot, brings it back into the corridor, and Willison, who started so well, has faded out of the game in the second half, but he really did have a great first half, opposed to Earl Spalding. Chips the ball down towards Darren O'Brien, who is marked 40 metres out directly in front of goal. Well, Gary, one of the last kicks of the match, one would think. Darren O'Brien, an important part of West Perth's lineup last week, but he really hasn't been able to get into the game today.
Yes, maybe have told on him. Certainly he was one of the reasons, instrumental reasons why West Perth are here.
Well, there's the siren to end the 1998 grand final. Darren O'Brien has kicked a goal on the siren. So Darren O'Brien becomes the 5th goal scorer. The goal umpire can't find the central umpire. Goal to Darren O'Brien, but the final score, 20 goals 10, 130 to East Fremantle. West Perth 13-9, 87.
It looks like slight rain has just started to fall.
I don't think it's going to dampen the enthusiasm.
It won't dampen the East Fremantle celebrations, I'm sure of that. A tremendous performance by them. They have been the class team all year, there's no doubt about that. There's Stephen Bilcich and Darren O'Brien. Well, he'll be holding the Premiership Cup above his head shortly, and well, who would begrudge them? They put himself in a position last year. It's been a long year for them. They've exacted their revenge, and they are going to be the 98 premiers holding that cup alive.
Stephen Bilcich, well, he led from the front, particularly in that third quarter, kicking 3 marvellous goals. And, well, try as they might, the security men can't keep the fans off the oval. They won't be denied the opportunity of celebrating with their players. A disappointed but very thirsty Neil Mildenhall there. Tried hard, had a pretty good final series.
And Phil, it was terrific to see Stephen Bilcich went over to all the West Perth players to congratulate them on their season. I thought that was really good to see that.
No doubt about it. And look at that thronging crowd. They can't get enough of it. And probably thinking that they really were denied last year, Trevor. It was a great come-from-behind victory by South Fremantle. It left East Fremantle very, very flat, didn't it, in their centenary year?
Yes, it did. They really wanted to win it last year. They've made up for it this year. I think there'll be a lot of these players that perhaps retire and don't go on to play with East Fremantle, and some of the Victorian boys will perhaps go home. It is raining now, you can see there, and there's Lee Willison. He just wanted to be back on the ground, and Ryan Webb did a pretty good job for West Perth in the back line under a lot of pressure, and well, the Falcons can hold their head high, but it was perhaps just about written in the sky, Gary, that it had to be East Fremantle's year this year.
Yes, well, they were, as we mentioned, they were the class team all year. West Perth valiant in defeat. West Perth and East Fremantle really were the two teams to find it out. No doubt about that. As the two teams to beat. East Fremantle just had that better experience, better balance all over the field, and today they proved that they deserved their victory. And congratulations to Tony McCall. I've got a lot of time for Tony. He's very thorough and, well, very demands discipline from his players. And I've got a lot of time for East Fremantle. I think they're a club with great tradition and great character.
Yes, the players are making their way over to the presentation dais. There's Dean Brunton. He won't be making his way over. Disappointed, but certainly one of the West Perth lineup who can hold his head high, kicking 5 goals in a terrific solo effort.
Well, Scott, must be sweet revenge on last year.
Oh, it certainly is. I mean, I don't think I've had one good night's sleep the last 2 weeks, and just last year's been going over mine. I suppose the whole 12 months has really been something that we've had to carry, that the monkey on our back. You know, the press this week have been we're unbeatable and all this and that. I think put more pressure on us because we knew we had to perform, and it was just great to have a great victory. And West Perth were fantastic today. I got a hand to. They never stopped at any one time, and it was just fantastic. A great win.
No, mate, enjoy it because you have been the benchmark all year as well.
Yeah, I mean we've had a really good team. You know, we've got a couple of great recruits, getting Earl back, also Greg Madigan, Marty Melody staying, Adrian Bromage, Brett Bowden, Obi. I mean, you go through the lineup and they're pretty strong through the midfield, and we had that height this year in the forward line. I think that made a lot of difference
No, congratulations. You did really well. I think you've got a fabulous side, a lot of skill, a lot of height, and, mate, you really served it up to them today. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, there's Tony McCall and Stephen Bilcich, coach and captain respectively. It's upside down, but they don't care about that. The 29th flag in East Fremantle's history, and a well-deserved one. Tony McCall, Gary's a hard-working fella, isn't he? He works very hard at the footy, and he's perhaps criticised about being too intense, but that's as good a picture as you'd ever like to see, a Bobby McCall smiling.
Yes, well, you know, he's deserved it. He's been around for a while. He's taken over from Ken Judge and really continued that tradition, as we might just take this call.
I'm sure you'll agree he's one of Western Australia's legends too. He's the holder of the WA record for the most games played for one club. That's 371 games for the Falcons, or the Cardinals as they were known back then. Making his debut at 17 years of age in 1960, please welcome Mr. Mel Winnan.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the 1998 Premiership Cup, the Drive Save Cup, East Fremantle.
There they are, coach and captain holding the ball, the Premiership Cup aloft.
Yo, beauty! I'd just like to thank all these Fremantle supporters for coming out and shouting and screaming from the bottom of their lungs. We heard you, and we thank you for that. I'm very proud of these blokes out here. They were awesome today, last time we played, and all through the year. Well done, East Fremantle. Well done, you blokes.
Well, a stirring speech there by Stephen Bilcich. Tony McCall, a man of very few words, Trevor.
Oh, it was good that he left. I think he's left the words to his captain.
What Billows had to say. Firstly, also like to say commiserations to West Perth. You've got a fair idea how you feel at the moment. Congratulations to our players. I think they thoroughly deserve to win it this year on their performances and their consistency, and we also had probably a little bit of bad luck throughout the course of the game, and they showed enormous character as well as their ability to go on and win the game. Congratulations, players. You're absolutely sensational today.
Yeah, Tony McCall heaping the accolades on his players. Well, he might, Gary. That's the sort of player that coach he is.
Tony McCall to call up the players by name and number to receive their 1998 West Star Rules Premiership medallions.
And there'll be a few of them hobbling up the steps to get their medallions.
They'll feel no pain, though, Gary.
Their backs to the wall today, and that'll make the victory even sweeter for them tonight.
Damien Condon kicked 4 goals, and he really was a powerhouse performer up forward right throughout the course of the finals, kicking 6 in the second semi-final, another 4 today, Gary.
A great player for East Fremantle, Damien Condon, all through the year, and he's been a great recruit for him.
Matthew Clucas chipped in when he was required. Earl Spalding, not a big part to play today, but his presence was always felt throughout the course of the year.
Always gives a presence, and great acquisition to East Fremantle.
Wayne Rosa injured in the first quarter, but continued on throughout the course of the game. And
about that
some of his tackling, you know, and I saw him get up after that tackle with a very, with a big grimace on his face.
This boy's got a lot of promise. I like the look of this guy. He shows a lot of poise and under pressure.
John Stagg, well played in defence, and I think, as you mentioned, Trevor, in the call, a bit of a shaky start, but he asserted himself magnificently.
How this guy's reversed the memories from last year. Number 1, Scotty Spalding.
Yeah, Scott Spalding. Yeah, this time last year.
Well, he was a villain, wasn't he?
He was a villain, but he certainly has buried some skeletons today. Clint Kirey got his opportunity, limited opportunities this year, but Clint Kirey wearing a premiership medal. What a great year from Martin Melody, Gary.
Yeah, Clint Kirey from Geraldton. That'll be a great experience for young Clinton. Martin Melody, what a player he's been since coming over. Magnificent player, just knows how to get the footy, and really just has been a great performer for East Fremantle.
Stout effort by John Kerr.
Yep.
Had some injury problems toward the end of the year. And Sandover medalist Adrian Bromage, and gee, Gary, I think he's half a chance to pull off the double, you know.
I agree with you, Phil.
Yeah, he's a great performer. Another player that just knows where to put himself to get the footy. Sandover medalist, a grand final medallion. Can he add another one to it? But Well, Marshall Stockton, he's just such a disciplined player, just does the job week in, week out. Chris Pobjoy, well done, great career for him, and his performance today was a very good one also, and well, he will remember this game for the rest of his life.
17, Lee Willison.
Lee Willison injured early again, one of those East Fremantle players who copped a leg injury early in the piece. Stephen O'Brien there also receiving his medallion, one of the walking wounded, along with Lee Willison, who came onto the ground and was on the ground when the siren sounded. I think that's always a great feeling, isn't it, for a player?
Yeah.
Kicked a goal. Rhett Bowden, another injured player. Gary Dhurrkay, with baby son in arms.
Big-hearted Justin Sanders, 43.
Big-hearted Justin Sanders, no doubt about that, Trevor. I mean, Justin Sanders, he's had a great record in finals, hasn't he?
Yes, he's just the desperation that he showed. And I just love that battle between him and Ron Skender. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Neither bloke would give an inch, and they just gave everything they had for their club.
They certainly did. Greg Madigan, another of the players who will be leaving the club, but not leaving without a premiership medal. He made sure of that.
Yes, well, a teammate of mine in 1989, he was only a youngster then, only played a handful of games and got the opportunity, and what a game that was.
Well, he started his career with a grand final victory, and he's finished it.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Look at Greg Egan making his way up the stairs. He is really out on his feet.
The captain, Stephen Bilcich.
Well, this was terrific for Stephen Bilcich. He took over from Steve Malaxis as, well, the greatest modern-day captain the club's had, Gary. Led them to 2 premierships, and Billo has now got his moment of glory, which is fantastic.
Thanks, Tony, and thanks to Mel Winnan. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Mel Winnan and Tony McHale.
As Barry McKinnon, the chairman of West Star Rules, puts the medallion over the head of Tony McHale, and what great pride he must be feeling now. And there they are in a celebratory mood. A nonplussed mascot there, no doubt about that, sitting atop the Premiership Cup. In years to come, he or she will understand the meaning of it.
Yes, tremendous moment for the East Fremantle players, that photo. No doubt each and every one of them at some stage will have that on one of their walls at home, something that they can look back on for the rest of their lives. It's a great moment, and the players really do enjoy it. Hard to explain that feeling when you're successful in a premiership, and the moment is there to be savoured and there to be soaked up for the players.
Let's have a listen to their rendition of the club song. So a great moment for the East Fremantle Sharks. Greg Madigan and Damien Condon sharing in it.
And we've had some great best players in the grand finals. Now it's time to present the Simpson Medal for the best player in the 1998 West Star Rules Grand Final. To present the Simpson Medal for best player today, please make welcome Mr. Luke Simpson.
What do you think, Gary?
Oh, look, I'm not sure. I think it might go to Bromage.
Adrian Bromage.
Yes, well, he's got the double.
And certainly he's got the treble.
Yes.
Terrific gaggle of medals for Adrian Bromage at the end of this season. Sandover medal, Simpson medal, and a premiership medal. He's got everything he could have ever asked for.
This is a dream come true for me and all the boys. We worked very hard for this. Can't say much more. It's just sensational. Thank you.
Well, the fellow they call Gags, his nickname, and a gaggle of medals is right, Phil.
Tremendous effort, mate, to pull off both of them.
Oh, thanks, Rod. It's a great thrill. Never thought I would have won a Sandover, and then this is just a dream come true for me, just to win a premiership. That's all I wanted. It's great.
Mate, I think your captain was up there, and he was really showing the emotion for the rest of the football club.
Oh, he was. Everyone's worked so hard for it all year. We have been the best side all year, so it's just a great treat to win it.
Now, you had a great side out there, some of the real true legends, Duke and Spalding and a few of the others. Really great side, really great combination. You must be proud to be playing with them.
We did. It's a great honour to play with guys like Earl Spalding and Greg Madigan, Steve Bilcich, are all been legends. They added the experience that we needed this year, and it's just great that we've come out with a reward.
What for you now, Adrian?
I'm going overseas, mate. I don't know if Rachel let me ever stay around again, so definitely going travelling. I'll have a couple of months off anyway, at least.
And your decision on next year, have you made that yet?
Oh yeah, we're definitely going overseas. We plan to travel for a year. Plans haven't changed at the moment, but see what happens.
Now, I'd like to think, I bet you East Fremantle, mate, will be trying to change your mind.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they will, actually. They know I've put it down pretty firmly that I'm going, so...
Well, congratulations, mate. It's been a great effort from you to win the Sandover and to play such a big part in the game today. It's a tremendous effort and well done.
Thank you very much.
We're not afraid of anyone, our record's unsurpassed. Truscott Peak, Sorrel, Doig, Malaxis, Green and Clark are but a few of the white and blue who've tackled, kicked and marked, as though there's only one team on the park. Yes, East Fremantle